Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you as always for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew Don't Get It Twisted Lapachet, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you as always for joining us. All right, so we are officially within a week of when Diego Pacheco taking on Steven Nelson this weekend, Saturday the 25th. Would definitely look forward to that fight. I was fortunate enough to attend the Diego Pacheco media workout last week, and if you want to check our YouTube channel, I went ahead and posted some shorts and some videos on there. Of course, there is still some videos that I'm going to post within the week or so. So, got to strike when the iron's hot, when people are interested in the guy and then he's got a fight coming up. That's when people look for his content the most. So I definitely intend to put more on there. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel, guys, so you can take a look at some of the stuff that I posted on there. But there is plenty of other news that we're going to go over, of course, everything from the possible bluff, of course, of another Tyson Fury retirement to the potential super fight that some of us asked for, but not everybody, with Canelo and Crawford, and a lot of other fight announcements that the Ring Magazine has talked about in regards to Teofimo Lopez, to potentially a rematch with Haney and Garcia. So we got quite a bit to talk about, but before we get into all that good shit, Andrew, what's happening, dude? Have you had your coffee? Are you awake yet? It is Sunday evening.
Hey, what's up, Miguel? Yeah, I'm starting to wake up. I got done watching the final conclusion to the divisional playoffs. Now we go to the AFC NFC championship games. So it was a day of football. So yeah, kind of bored, kind of just hanging out on the couch doing nothing. Um, so yeah, Bills versus Chiefs for I don't know, I think a third time maybe. They played each other a lot in the playoffs last 5 years. And then the Eagles and the Commanders. That's a new one.
Jeez.
The Washington Command. That's hella
Yes.
sad for the Redskin fans, right? As soon as they change their name, now they get to go to the NFC Championship game or go back after 30 something years. They're like the Raiders. Been a while.
Mm.
It's been a while for the Bills too. It's been a while since the Super Bowl. I think they've been to a champ. They lost the championship game, but now they're. It's been a while for them since they won a Super Bowl though. So
But at least they got to keep their same name. They're not no damn. What did you call them? Avengers or what the hell
the
are they?
the
Oh,
Commanders,
Commanders. Good Lord. Oh, jeez.
Washington.
Gosh, I don't know who comes up with this stuff. I mean, I know everybody gets offended from all the damn things, but I mean, I think the Pirates are 10 times worse than that. I'm
You'll
to be able to change it up, huh?
There's actually a petition to get the Redskins back as the name and the
Oh, really?
logo of the team from the Indian tribe that the man was that
Oh,
I
that's
guess
right. I
the
did hear about
chief
that.
that
Yeah.
that was named after him.
Mm-hmm.
The Redskin was a real person, I guess, that on that logo.
Mm.
And so now they're like, hey, we want them back on it. None of us were offended.
Mm-mm. It's like people were offended on their behalf, and they're like, "Hold on, hold on. We like him being up there on the helmet. I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah. So
Ah, bummer. Well, that's your Sundays are kind of like my Saturdays. When there's fights on, like I don't do jack. I'm just like, all right, 2, 3 in the afternoon. If there's a UFC card, the early UFC prelims start by 4:35. A lot of the early prelims and the boxing cards start. So it's just like it's one of those days. Sundays, even though I work 410, so I got Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. So I got 3 pretty solid days, and I do stuff with them, of course. But Saturday is usually the day I'm just like, all right, pull up my I have these peanuts that I like to those like Mexican peanuts with the salt and lime and stuff. That's pretty much how I start my Saturdays. But sounds like your Sunday was pretty chill. No yard work or anything.
nope, didn't do nothing.
That's the kind of Sunday that I like. I don't blame you one bit. Um, all right, well, we will
Junior
get. Huh.
Junior has been battling a what is it? A fever, but he still
Oh,
eats.
oh,
It's really
okay.
weird. Yeah,
Hmm.
he hasn't lost his appetite. But he stayed home for 2 days. So that's why I kind of got away with doing nothing, right?
Hmm.
Because they went to church Junior stayed home. Really weird though. He's not. It's a very low fever, and
Mm.
like I said, he's still eating. So it's I don't we don't know what's going on with him, but he's got an extra day of rest, and his fever is coming down. So he was only like 99 or so
Mm.
today, and then 102 I think was the highest, but doesn't really show it. Watched football. Told him to stay the hell away from me, but still watch football.
Yeah, it's like give me an air high five from across the room. Don't be sneezing in this direction, kid.
Oh yeah, he gets shoot. I yell at them if they sneeze in the air.
Well, that's how kids are, right? I mean, like I'll sneeze in the air if I'm outside. I don't give a rat's ass. I'm like, all right, everybody, move out of the way. There's plenty of room here. If it's
Oh
indoors,
yeah,
then
yeah.
I do into my my jacket, my hoodie. But if I'm outside, I don't give a rat's ass. I'll go somewhere else. Like stay away from me. You got plenty of room to stay away from me on the outside. Inside is another story. But totally understandable because kids are synonymous for spreading everything. They always do, as they tend to do. But fingers crossed that you don't catch anything because we have some stuff coming up. When is the Super Bowl, by the way? Do you know when the Super Bowl is?
3 weeks, 4 weeks.
3 weeks, is it?
Yeah, no, 3 weeks. Yeah, because we have one more week of football. Then there's a bye. Then I believe it's
Mm.
the Super Bowl. So 3 weeks away. 3 weeks out.
Mm. And where's it going to be at? Because I don't follow it.
Um, she's New Orleans this time.
Again? What the hell?
No, because it was Vegas last time, wasn't
Well,
it?
I know, but how many have they done in New Orleans? I swear they
Oh,
do.
bro, they only have a certain amount of party towns they can go to. So
Ah,
like Miami, New Orleans, what is the other one?
well, Vegas, I guess that one time.
San Diego. Yeah, no,
Oh,
Vegas is definitely in now. That's why the plan always was, even if the Raiders were to lose Las Vegas, the NFL had already kind of guaranteed the Bank of America, do the loan, we'll purchase the stadium, probably pay you guys the same day, and
mm,
we'll turn that stadium we'll just put it into the Super Bowl rotation. So that they always had plans for that stadium, even if it was going to be a bust, because then they would just rent it out to college, right? The college
I
kids
see.
travel. We see these guys pack in stadiums all the time. Look at
Mm,
where Las Vegas football went, the UNLV football team. Now they're doing extremely well. They're on TV. I see them on TV, at least even down here in the Bay Area or the Valley, Central Valley.
mm.
So yeah, that stadium was always going to go up. It was just a matter of, was Mark going to get it done, and he barely got it done. He really got it done because of COVID. COVID helped them out a lot. It took the time frame, that they needed to be done. Just threw it right out the window. They started putting up fake walls after that. Right,
Yeah.
started getting things passed on
Mm,
temporary bullshit.
mm.
So yeah, that's where they're there, they're at.
So we still got one more week. So we don't know who's going to the Super Bowl yet, then, right? We still have one more week of regular season shit, or do we?
No, this is the one more week. These are but this is still the playoffs, not regular season.
Ah,
It's the
gotcha.
playoffs.
Okay.
So,
Mm.
and they're the championship games now. So it's the AFC, NFC championship game.
Oh shit! So it's already coming down to the wire then. Wow. All
Yeah,
right.
the two winners of that game will then face each other for the Super Bowl.
All right.
So,
Right on. Well,
so it's
looking forward to
time,
that for sure.
Miguel.
Yes.
It's time for your squares. It's that time of year. Do you
All
at
right.
least do that?
No, I don't do that at all. Hell
Oh
no.
my
I
God, bro!
little. I know too little to even do that.
You just get numbers. You literally get two numbers. You give them $20, they give you two numbers. If the final score at the quarter that you're on has those two numbers as the final numbers, you win. That's it.
Mm. Seems simple enough. I don't know. It just so how do you get the numbers though? You choose them, or are they just like drawn?
Yeah, well, people, you're gonna have to ask around your work or whatever.
Okay,
Maybe
gotcha.
online, you might see it online. Your friends go, "Hey, I got a guy who's selling numbers, $20 a box or whatever." Just tell them, "Yeah, I want 2 boxes, 3 boxes." They'll put your name I think it's like a raffle, right?
Mhm.
And then they pull names with the 7 in this number, four in this number, 3, and then they pull names for the numbers, and you get that box.
Have you done yours?
No, but this time of year to buy them now. Now,
Okay.
because people will even do championship games. They're a
Oh,
pretty
really?
good money maker for the house for whoever's doing the game. If you could sell
Mhm.
out the whole card, yeah, it's good money. Little money into it,
Yeah,
little booster, yeah. People that hustle,
right, exactly. I'm telling you, I
because
can send you such a few of it, huh?
the house, you always gets to keep something, right?
Yeah, right. They got to win somehow, right? I mean, that's why they're the house.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, we got quite a bit to talk about because holy fizzle, jizzle, but dizzle fizzle, there are a lot of topics going on. So let's go ahead and get started with what seems to be I guess, the one making the most noise because it involves two of the top pound for pound fighters in the fucking world. We're talking about Canelo and Crawford. This is supposedly what's going on. It appears as though we are close to finalizing a deal. Let me go ahead and read off what Ring Magazine has posted on their Instagram page. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford is reportedly now in the process of being finalized for September in Las Vegas. Fight will take place at 168 pounds, so super middleweight limit, for Canelo's super middleweight world titles with no rehydration clause, according to Mike Coppinger. So um, we've heard rumors. There's been rumblings, right, ever since that award from the Ring Magazine award show that Ring Magazine put together. We saw Canelo there, we saw Crawford there, right, and there was a lot of talk about these two. And even when they were asked, they were like, oh well, potentially, maybe, as long as the money is right, of course. We know that time is of the essence for one Terence Crawford because he most certainly hasn't made the kind of money that we anticipated he was going to make, especially early on in his career, what he thought he was going to probably make throughout his career. Unfortunately, he kind of didn't get the bigger fights earlier in his career. Took a while before he can even get, someone like Errol Spence. But when he got it, he definitely took advantage of it, right, and ended up coming away with the victory. So now that he's in his 30s, I should say mid 30s now, looking for the cash cow, right? And if that means
And we know
jumping two
why.
weight classes, huh?
We know why those PBC guys avoided him too. He
Yes. Well, we found
retired.
out. He found out.
Hey, he retired the two PBC guys that faced him first.
Yes, yes. And we're going to talk about one a little later on because clearly he still isn't ready for something like that. But yes, we saw precisely why. But no hate on Crawford. We know he wants to cash out, and if it means jumping two weight classes to do it, I mean, really probably three because he's only had one fight at 154.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if we want to do two, we can be generous and say it was only two weight classes because he didn't look that great at 154. But holy hell, it seems as though it's going to be finalized for September. Now,
Or 168 too. You said that, right? I don't know if you said
yes,
that.
yes, 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 at
All right.
168. Yep, for Canelo's super middleweight, championship, the titles unified. He is the lineal champion at 168, so he's going to be defending his title against them. Now, because this is going to be in September, presumably we're going to have one more Canelo fight in May. Before then, that's kind of the norm, unless we're going to just wait. Hopefully that doesn't happen and we don't see these guys until then. Because, quite damn it, we're in what mid to late January, having to wait all until September to get this fight going or seeing these guys in the ring. Hopefully, maybe these guys, or at least we're damn near sure that we're going to get a Canelo fight in May, which we normally do. Terence, we haven't heard anything yet, at least. So we might get one more fight out of Terence before these two guys meet up in September. So, Andrew, let me get started. What was your initial thought when you read that this fight was pretty much close to finalized at this point?
Well, when I read it, there was a tail of the tape attached to it, and I didn't know Crawford. Well, let's just say I got the birthdays, their age backwards.
Oh,
Canelo is actually 34, and Terence Crawford's 37.
oh, geez. Okay, wow. I thought he
I did
was.
not know Terence Crawford was so old, or I forgot. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's kind of sad, man. Wake up and the dude's 37.
Will he be 38 by the time the fight happens? What, I don't know
That
when
I
his
don't.
birthday is. Let me pull
That
up his birthday to see, because that's already something as it is, right? All right, let's take a look at when his birthday is. Oh,
Sep-
September.
yeah, September
Shit.
28th. So he'll
So
be
he'll be
right there.
Yeah, a few days short of it because usually it's what September 15th weekend, right? I don't know
Yeah.
what day that lands on this year, but what day of the week I mean. But wow, he'll be close to 38 by the time that comes around. And I think Canelo turns 35, I think in November or something like that, or it's like late in the year as well. So he'll be reaching the 35 age. But yeah, 38, holy hell. So okay, so you got the ages mixed up. Then what else?
Um, there's not too much else, Miguel. Look,
You don't
I'm
seem
gonna
so high
I
the way
look, I'm
everybody
gonna
else.
you know what I do like that about it. I am getting asked about this fight,
Okay,
so there is sort of there's talk, right? There's a
there's interest.
buzz.
Interest, yeah.
There's interest. There you go. So I like that, but I can't go around saying that this is, the dream fight that I was thinking of. I was kind of against it from the very beginning because I just feel like it's a joke is too hard of a word, but it's very
Desperate,
unlikely,
desperate it seems.
desperate, yeah, unlikely that Terrence Crawford could go up three weight divisions and compete with the guy who's as skilled and powerful as Saul Alvarez is. Let's not be mistaken here. Saul Alvarez against a guy 14 pounds lighter than him is a powerful man. Now to Bivol, he might not be that powerful anymore, but to Amir Khan, he did what to?
Hmm. Knocked the
So
snot
Terrence,
out of him.
yeah, Terrence Crawford's got to be a little bit nervous. Probably everyone at 154. Well, yeah, I guess you can bring up the times he went 12 rounds too. But the James Kirklands, he has a few great knockouts at 154, right?
Yeah,
So
Angulo, jeez.
yeah, so it's I like your term more for Crawford. It really does seem like it's desperate because even if he was to win, I don't see him staying at 168. I don't see him going up. This is just
Hmm.
a money grab, and if it happens to fall in your lap, it falls in your lap. But seriously, what could the game plan be? He's got a box. We know that, but Terrence kind of isn't a boxer. Like he said, he has a mean streak in him. We've seen him stay in the inside a lot, with guys. He's not really a mover. He's 37, so how much moving is left in those legs at this age, especially with that kind of weight being put on you.
Hmm.
Um, I will get excited as we get closer. Hopefully, we'll watch him. Maybe releases a few videos, shows on keeping it lean. Maybe his game plan isn't to try to touch 168 at all. Who knows, right? Who really knows what his game plan is on this? But yeah, right now, no, I'm not losing any sleep over what I think the outcome of Canelo versus Terrence Crawford's going to be.
As I mentioned earlier, that there's a pretty good chance that we're going to see Canelo in May, which is usually the case, and then this fight in September. I'm kind of hoping that um, Crawford kind of sort of does the same, but tests out the waters at 168. Again, maybe not being a 168, a full 168er, but I don't know, 165 or something like that, right? 164, something along those lines, just to test out how he would feel come, September. Would that be a good idea for Crawford? Or because, mind you, he is a WBA champion now at 154, but clearly he's not going to defend it unless that is what ends up happening is him defending that belt between now and September. But considering the money fight is with Canelo, and that's going to be the most important fight in his career to date, it would be in his best interest to fight at a weight closer to that as a test, basically, to see how he would feel in that fight. Wouldn't that be the better option?
Yeah, it's a great idea. Miguel, it's like the only option they have is to put him as close to what his fighting weight is going to be against Canelo to see
Hmm.
how his body reacts
Yeah.
and to also put it on his resume, right? At least it
Mhm.
looks a little bit better that, oh, he fought his last fight at a catch weight of 164, knocked the guy out, right? And it makes it a little bit better. So yeah, I like that idea a lot. I was going to say middleweight, but you know what? If you're going for it, we might as well go for it. You bring down the opposition, obviously. You got to give
Mhm.
them a 168 pounder or a 160 pounder that you can say, you're going to gain 4 pounds for this fight. Coming at 164. and see how his body reacts, but not a heavy hitter. We're not trying to test his chin. Just trying to see how he looks and how his body, his speed, and everything. Because I guess that's when they'll do a game plan on the Terrence Crawford that they have in front of them at that point, right? So yeah, I do like that idea that it's a must that he fights once before the Canelo fight, and they would be smart to do it at least close to the 168, because I highly doubt he's coming in at 168. He should be at a total disadvantage in this fight. The fact that he didn't even get it at a catch weight shows that he's kind of the B side, just signing the signature on the dotted
No
line.
rehydration clause on top of that, so he's gonna
Yeah,
let Canelo, gain weight overnight, pretty much too.
yeah, yeah. I hope this is all motivation for Crawford. I hope he listens to our show while he's running, and gets a chip on his shoulder for all of us talking trash about it. But it's just we don't really see this in boxing. There's reasons why we don't see this in boxing. Even when Manny Pacquiao went up 9 divisions, he didn't do 3 of them at one time. And then
Hmm.
take on the number one fighter or top three fighter in the world. I don't know where you have Saul Alvarez at this point in time in his career, but it's still top three. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? He's still sitting there. So yeah, it's something we just don't see a lot in boxing, and so it's hard to think that Terrence Crawford, even though he is a great fighter, the best of this era, um, it's still Saul Alvarez he's going up against. Just the punching power just seems like it'd be. We've seen Terrence hurt
Hmm.
40 pounds less, 30 pounds
Yeah.
less,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
By
So
by men that were 30 pounds less. Excuse me. Let me
yeah.
rephrase that.
Let me throw kind of a scenario here at you. Canelo, the IBF stripped Canelo of his belt, so he doesn't have that belt. That belt is currently being held by one undefeated. William Skull, his name is, who Canelo at one time was even gonna possibly fight. I don't know if that fight's gonna happen or not, but regardless, um, in the same way that maybe De La Hoya moved up to 160 to take on Felix Sturm to win the WBO belt before he fought Bernard Hopkins, would it be a good idea to maybe Crawford do the same when he does go up to 168, fight somebody like this guy here, William Skull, maybe take belt, make the fight even juicier, say, all right, I got the IBF belt now. Now it's going to be once again for the undisputed super middleweight title if he fights this guy first and wins before he fights him. Would that be too much of a risk? Is that because mind you, De La Hoya was only going from 154 to 160. It wasn't like he was going to from 147 or anything like that. So in this case, I don't know. I just kind of throw out there because I asked this because as I mentioned earlier, I have some footage of Diego Pacheco in the gym, and he was asked about it. He said, this fight after this fight, Steven Nelson could a potential fight with somebody like, the one belt that Canelo doesn't have, this guy William Skull, and he's like, yeah, yeah, that's definitely an option. I mean, I think, as a matter of fact, we might have already tried to have that fight happen. It didn't happen for whatever reason, if I remember him correctly. But regardless, we brought it up to him, and he seems very interested. Right, it's the one belt that Canelo doesn't have for political reasons, but would Crawford come in here and try to do that? Be like, all right, this guy that has the belt that Canelo doesn't have, the same way or similar the way Oscar moved up to 160 to take on Felix Sturm first before Bernard. All right, cool. Go in here, take the belt from William Skull, if he can do that at 168, and then make the fight even juicier.
Um, because of both of their ages, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say these guys are already established. The tickets are sold. I think this
Hmm.
fight is sold out when the tickets go on sale. So
Okay.
no more belts.
Okay.
Terrence is a 3 division undisputed.
40, 47. Was he 30, 35 too? 35. I don't know if he was undisputed, but he was the lineal champion at 135. Definitely undisputed at 140, at 147. I don't remember right offhand if it was 135 or not.
Okay, so 2-time undisputed. He has
Yeah,
enough belts. He's got 8 belts right there
sure
he can
does.
bring
Yeah,
in. So they'll be fine with the belt thing. He's got the undefeated record, so they'll be fine. They'll be
yeah,
fine. He just right now I would say it's more about how he reacts to that weight division. I think they should figure that out first before they figure out another title around him. Besides, if you had a wild idea to stay there, then maybe the Skull guy after. Canelo Alvarez
Mm.
is a better route. You know what I mean? Because then you have another title you can gobble up, get another paycheck. Um, that's if he wants to stay there. I highly just seems weird that it'd be something. You almost look at weight differences differently if he's successful in this in this jump up here. You're going to see a lot of the littler guys trying to make this crazy move because we all know the money's better, bigger, right? So
Yeah, but Crawford's special though. Like you think everybody's gonna be able to, like they're gonna think, oh yeah, I can do what Crawford. Well, I guess maybe if everybody thinks they can be the next Floyd, I suppose they all think they could be the next Crawford too.
next Crawford, and like we just mentioned, Manny went up 9 divisions, I think, in
Mm.
his career. So you'll have guys saying Manny did it too, even though it's not the same way they did it. Manny still went up 8 divisions, something like that in his career. So yeah, there will be a lot of people watching it, and hey, it would be like, wait a minute, how did this kind of happen? It would be, because we just had Usyk go up and beat Fury twice and beat Joshua twice. So there's another little guy coming up beating the big guy. So we've had a few examples of it not going what history usually was
Mm.
told us was that the big guy wins. It's kind of a change right now. So we'll see if Terrence
But those are
keeps
the
this.
exceptions, though. Those are the exceptions. I mean, it doesn't necessarily disprove the rule. The rule still is a good big guy beats a good small guy. The small guy has to be exceptional to be able to beat the big guy, which is why these guys like Manny, like Usyk, like maybe Crawford, if he does it, are able to do it. Granted, there's going to be more people attempting it, but actually
That's what I think.
succeeding,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I just think there'll be more guys attempting. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, let's say, his first fight at this heavier weight class, maybe a catch weight. Ideally, what kind of opponent are we looking at? Maybe somebody like I know that Munguia's already has that rematch with Saras scheduled or planned at least for April. I want to say so. Somebody who generally doesn't have heavy hands, I guess. Maybe somebody who, like, because I'm trying to think of somebody that isn't too much of a risk, but kind of sort of will give Crawford some sort of idea of how hard a super middleweight can hit.
Well, yeah, that I really don't know. That
Mm,
that I don't. It would to me it would have been a middleweight moving up with him is
mm.
where the route I thought they would go. I thought the
Or
perfect.
maybe, yeah, like let's say, like you said it like some time ago, Laura. Do you think Laura would want to
That
go up
that
168 or something?
I thought that was a perfect opponent for Terrence Crawford. Seemed like the right match to moving him right into 168. And I mean, seriously, it gives them another shiny title, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
because now they're gonna say 135, 140, 47, 54, and 60. I
Hmm.
mean, that makes this thing look a lot, juicier than him jumping up from 54 to 68. So I always thought Lara was the perfect opponent. Hey, maybe there's something there. Lara just got done with the fight. He's been free for a while. The company looks to not be. Oh, is he already on the undercard of? Is he on the undercard of Morale versus Benavides or Roach versus Because
Oh,
they
I
use them.
haven't seen.
Yeah, they use him so much. He might already be on the
Mhm.
undercard of one of those fights.
I'll look for it, but I haven't seen it because I mean he's a big enough name and he's a belt holder at 160 to be listed, Because sometimes
Right.
like the
Right.
guys who aren't a name, they won't even show up on the damn Instagram posts, right? But he is enough of a name for it to show up. So I haven't seen it, but I'll do some research and see when his next planned fight is because we have another story about PBC later on, and he is with
Yeah.
PBC, so we'll get on that a little bit later on. But so yeah, and you kind of brought this up earlier, but this is really nothing more than a cash grab, really. Because one of my questions that I want to ask you is, what could potentially be the long term plan? With chances are he's not going to stay at 168, right? Or I'm talking about Crawford.
No, until we see what he looks like, the answer has to be no. This is a cash grab. He's trying to shoot for the stars here. If he doesn't make it, he's going back to 154, or maybe he calls it quits. I mean, come on, the guy's 37. I didn't even know that. Now I got to start looking at his
Yeah,
age.
will be nearly 38 by the time that
He
fight comes
will
around.
be nearly 38 and a lot richer. You know,
True.
and he's always said he's done real good with his money. I think we all seen the little beef he was having with Gervonta Davis
Mhm.
over the week, right, on Twitter. So he seems like he's done real good with his money. Talks about investments and just preparing for retirement. He says he has that in lock too. So with that being said, he's about to get a nice hefty check from the Canelo fight. Maybe he retires. Maybe he pulls a Billy Joe Saunders and walks away, because now we're talking about the Roy Jones effect, right? Of going
Mhm.
up in weight, coming back down, and never being the same.
Mhm.
I think
Antonio
Bernard did.
Tarver, it happened to Antonio too.
Yeah, didn't you say Bernard? Isn't that what you said it happened to Bernard, or was it Tarver? Oh, Tarver, because
No,
he
yeah,
goes to heavyweight.
yeah. He goes well. He does the movie, the Rocky movie, and he balloons. He gets bulky as shit, then drops back down to 175 to defend against Bernard, and looks like crap.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, so
Mm.
who wants to see Terrence do that? Maybe he makes a run at 160, but there's no one big enough, right? There's not a big enough opponent right now.
Name wise, not big like size, because there's plenty of
Yeah,
160
no,
that can beat it,
if he
but
was
name it.
34, I think if he was 34, he stays at welterweight and takes on Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis. I think he would have took on all those guys.
Mhm.
Because he's 37, look for him to take this as a retirement check.
Mhm. So I guess we can ask that same question for Canelo. The long-term plan. Could this
I mean,
be
even
a,
Boots.
huh?
He even
Oh
has
yeah.
Boots there. I mean, look
Oh,
at
that's
it.
true.
Those
Yeah.
all those fights right there could be pay-per-view fights for His Excellency. Why are they even doing this Canelo fight? It must be that Terrence is asking for a payday on the way out. And
Mhm.
they all know they can turn a pretty penny with this one fight, one night. They'll make 100 million, and yeah, then if you want to go on, you go on. It has to be, bro,
Yeah.
because
Well,
all
it's
those.
even more evident with like not giving the rehydration clause, making it at 168 and now catch weight. It's because Crawford just said, "Fuck it, let's do it." I has to be a cash grab.
He's going home. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
going home after this. Yeah, because dude, Telefimo, Devin
Mhm.
Haney, Ryan Garcia, and Boots.
And
Those
Boots,
are
yeah.
four pay-per-view fights that they could work with Terrence Crawford just being the king. We'll just make you the king of the division. All these guys are going to come challenge you.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, there's something
Who
else
did you
there.
mention? You said Haney, Ryan, um,
Lopez
Boots. Oh
and
yeah, that's right.
Boots.
Teofimo, that's right. Damn, look at that. Shit,
Yeah,
man.
it's a whole day. If you really wanted to fight, if he really wanted to continue his career, he has all those pay-per-view fights lined up, and he is the king. He's the king of that division.
Hmm.
So he doesn't want to. He's not coming back.
No,
I
not
think that's what I think that's where I'm leaning towards.
that's true. Not even to pass a torch. Like, let's say comes back
Oh
down to
yeah.
7 and
Well,
says,
there's always
hey,
that side. Yeah, there's always that
hey,
side of boxing.
Boots, or hey, Haney, I'm gonna be the Oscar, you be the Manny. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and pass the fucking torch.
It matters. I hope he doesn't get Amir Khan. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is, but if he did get, he's never been hit by a guy this powerful. And
Right.
Saul Alvarez is not just some ordinary puncher,
Hmm.
right? So if he did knock out Terrence, it's gonna take a lot away from. It's gonna be Kell Brook, dude. Like, I mean, Kell Brook got his eye smashed in, had to get surgery. Okay, comes back, he's not the same fighter. No one looked at him as the same guy. So if Terrence dislocates his eye, it's got a floating eyeball. No one's gonna be like,
Hmm.
yeah, I hope him and Lopez get it on, right? He's gonna
Hmm.
yeah. He'll even be looked at as the new Spence of the division. So there's a
Oh
lot
yeah.
riding on. Yeah,
Hmm.
there's a lot riding on him, making this jump up. Yeah, the potential of His Excellency paying him to pass the torch is absolutely there, but the future is very short in my opinion with him making this move. I think if he really wanted to have a future in boxing, he stays as the king of the welterweight division and takes on four really great pay-per-view fights. They really are. Terrence Crawford, those guys, even Boots would need a little bit of build-up, but
Hmm.
he's undefeated. Eventually, that fight would get there. Boots has the right people behind him to get in a big situation if he was to get hot.
And for Canelo, um, I'm not sure if I had asked this before, but wouldn't this be kind of a lose lose? Like, you win, you're gonna be a guy that you probably should have been anyway because of how much smaller he is. You lose to a smaller dude. what does Canelo benefit, or how? I mean, obviously the obvious, the payday, right? But beyond that, Canelo is, loaded. He's rich up to his fucking gills. So that isn't necessarily the only driving force for him, but rather more so legacy belts, other stuff like that, right? What does this do for him? Is this getting back that Mayweather win, beating somebody like that, saying like, all right, at the very least, I beat this hot, American undefeated guy. Let me get that. That's kind of like the equivalent of some sort of band-aid on the Mayweather loss. Is it him getting that loss back? Because realistically, what does this do for his career? Again, besides the payday, what does this do for Canelo's legacy? It just seems like a lose-lose.
It sort of is, Miguel. We've said that. I'm gonna stick with that. That it is kind of a lose lose for his career. I mean, look, this is the second opponent in what, three guys that he's faced at two divisions under.
Mm, yeah.
He brought Charlo and now Crawford both up from 154 to fight him at 168. Like, what are we doing here? Like that's gonna hurt his legacy right there. But look, he's already old. He's only 34, but he's old because
In
he's been
boxing,
fighting.
sure. So yeah, he's got a
And he's
lot of
been
miles on
fighting
him.
since he was 15. He was the champ
Hmm.
at 20 something. So yeah, he's old,
More,
right?
more
To the
than half of
sport.
his life, he's been fighting shit.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So he's up there in age in the sport. And does he look, he deserves it. He can do whatever he wants, but it is going to be frowned upon because it's twice he's done this now. That's straight cherry picking. Even though it's Terrence Crawford, it's cherry picking. Now, with us being insiders, we know the situation. We know that His Excellency, a man who's clearly said he gets what he wants,
Hmm.
wanted this fight, told us he wanted it, and now he got it. And look, the way Canelo is gonna get forgiven is take the winner of Bivol versus, Benavidez versus Morrell. Because
Mm.
if Morrell upsets Benavidez
Benavides,
with
yeah.
his Puerto Rican background, he's Puerto Rican, correct? Or is he
Um,
Cuban?
no, no, Cuban. Morales
He
Cuban.
he's Cuban. So
Hmm.
it's not as big of a rival, but it'll still pay. It'll still
Hmm.
do the same. We'll do good numbers. Canelo versus Morrell. So it's if His Excellency wants to turn around, but we would like it better if Benavidez won. The sport would really benefit if Benavidez beat Morrell and Canelo had to maybe face him. Then everyone would forget about Charlo and Crawford because that would be the next biggest fight of um, Canelo's career would be David Benavidez.
Yeah. And well, because we're about 2 weeks away from the Benavides and Morel, we'll go into a deeper dive on next week's show because I'm gonna most likely get the odds of the fight and kind of we can take a look at, play around with the numbers there. But considering this fight was announced by Ring Magazine, of course, this is basically Turkey
His
Ali Sheikh,
ex.
his
Mhm.
his doing, right? What do you make of the fact that the fight is going to be in Vegas, or at least supposed to be in Vegas? Isn't the point of these fights going to Saudi Arabia? Isn't that the point, like bringing people to Saudi Arabia? This is the biggest fight, probably one of the biggest fight, I guess, but up to now, the biggest fight that Turkey can make forcefully, but he's making it. Wouldn't it make sense to bring all that to Saudi Arabia? Because supposedly it's going to be in Vegas. What do you make of that?
Um, Without me knowing the numbers, outside looking in, I gotta say that he's written a lot of blank checks lately. He hasn't been making money on, right? He hasn't
Mm,
been getting a return on his investment. So maybe they're like, you know what? Let's keep this one in Las Vegas and hopefully we make some money back and then we can move forward. Yes, obviously they want Saudi Arabia or Riyadh to benefit off of their investment into boxing, but on the short term, they need to make some money back on some of the fights they've already invested in and didn't make a damn dime. De La Hoya's Latin Nights out there probably being one of them that took a lot of money. That production, getting those fighters out there, paying them fighters the purses, probably cost a pretty nickel, and it looked like there was 10 people in the audience. I'm exaggerating now, but I'm just saying it did not look like they did good
hmm
on the
The
numbers
the
at all.
arena looked small, and there was still a lot of seats available. So that's just a double whammy right there. The arena
And then
wasn't big, and then those missing seats going.
and then excuse me too, get my clearing my throat, you guys. And then the pay per view. Wasn't that a
Mm.
pay-per-view card? I think that was one of their first $20 cards, if I'm not
Oh shit, was it? I don't remember
the
right offhand.
Latin Nights one.
Uh-huh. It might have been. I don't remember right offhand.
Okay.
Um,
All
but
right.
regardless, I mean, it's still. Chances are he was in the red after that event,
Yeah.
regardless of
Yeah.
whether it
Then
was or not.
the one with Terrence Crawford, we know that there was rumors the 10 million to get Eminem out
Mm,
there.
mm-hmm,
That one didn't look like it did shit on the live gate. We're never told of any other numbers coming back from the gate or from pay-per-view. That's not a good thing. So that's what I'm hoping, Miguel, that they're keeping it in Las Vegas. Like, hey, he does good numbers out there. Let's get some money back and then move forward from there with our rehab, whatever they're trying to do out there.
mm,
So maximize their profits for this
yeah.
one.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was like, I mean, to some degree, Turkey works with all the promoters, right? He works with Oscar, he works with Bob, he works with Eddie Hearn. One of them had to have told him, like, okay, look, we got to do this in Vegas. If clearly these events over there, you're still in the red, this one damn near is a shoe-in, is a home run hitter in Vegas. Let's do it in Vegas and bring some money back into this.
What
Um, uh,
the real story, the inside story, if you want to say, is how many of the big wigs from their investment group are coming to Vegas and living that Vegas life. Maybe they're like, I got a new vision for our company.
yeah,
Let's go back to Vegas. What? Why do you want to go back to Vegas for?
yeah. It's like, isn't it called Sin City? Like, no, that's just a joke. That's just a
Yeah,
name.
that's overrated.
Yeah,
All
that's
it
not even
is
like,
cards. It's cards. What?
yeah.
Okay, I
So
lost $50 million. Who? I don't care. I don't care. It's cards. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's claimed to
this
Bruno Mars.
oh, I know, right? Exactly. Oh gosh, it's like $600 for the New Year's a show. For I looked into that shit. Fucking Bruno, get out of here. Um, could this be? I mean, let's say this is a blockbuster of a fight, right? It does big money here in Vegas. Chances are Turkey is probably still in the red, huh? I mean, he's lost a lot of fucking money over Saudi Arabia. I don't think this one card is going to be enough to make up for what he's already lost. Chances are we're going to have another one maybe in Vegas. Like, let's say we do, like he's wanted. I mean, it's not going to be Vegas, but I remember, well, we'll get to it later on, but Haney and Ryan, something like that, right? In the US, I guess is what I'm trying to say, to compensate for what they've lost so far inside of him. And mind you, we don't know for sure, but it looks like that's the case. I don't think this one fight, Crawford and Canelo, is going to be enough to make up for what they've already lost.
No, what we're hoping for is that we show them the potential of what these big fights can bring their company. That's what we're hoping, right? I'm hoping Las Vegas reaches out to His Excellency and offers them a nice reward for keeping that fight in Las Vegas, right? Let's pay these guys top dollars so they don't take every single fight to Dubai and Riyadh and basically take the fight game away from Las Vegas. So
Mm.
casinos need to respond, give him a good kickback, and then the fans need to respond by buying up these tickets and showing them what boxing can do. Honestly, that it's good where we're at right now, and it all looks good on paper. But when, yeah, like you say, the red marks keep coming up, no one's going to care about his vision of wanting to see Crawford and Canelo if it's not making money at the end of the day. That, those visions, no one gives a shit about them after they see that they're losing money time and time again. So for this one, it's potential. Let's give them a good payday, show them what boxing's about. And really, when this company takes off, it's not going to be on the backs of the guys that are benefiting right now. These guys are getting paid. They're getting them what on the map. They're putting them on the map,
Okay.
but they're not it's not these aren't the guys that are going to lead this company into the future. They've
Yeah.
got to find that guy in the next batch, and
Mm.
and then we have to get the fans to be um used to flying the 17-hour flight. We have to get them used to the culture differences that they're going to face when they go out there. You're really going to have to sell on what your adult entertainment is out there. You got to sell Riyadh. It's Riyadh, right? That's the name of the
Well, I
place.
mean, it's Saudi Arabia. I think Riyadh specifically. I don't know if it's always there. I know they do the Riyadh season hashtag shit, but whether or not it's always there, I don't know right offhand. But
Okay.
yes, I'm almost certain it
In
is Riyadh. Yeah.
Dubai is Dubai because Saudi Arabia is the other company. That's the one that Dana's working with, correct? This and Riyadh's in Dubai.
No, no, it's Saudi Arabia. It's Saudi
Oh, it
Arabia,
is.
right? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, because that Riyadh season even shows up on the Octagon a few times too. So yeah, it does.
okay.
It's the same
Okay.
people. Is this um kind of a good indication? Because one of the things that we were kind of concerned about is that was going to be the case, that Turkey was going to basically take everything to Saudi Arabia, which was the point, obviously, but taking away a lot from Vegas. Seeing this fight taking place in Vegas, is this an indication that chances are a lot of the big fights aren't going to go over there, and rather they're going to do it here because they know the potential of the money they're going to make? Is this a good indication of that, or maybe it's just wishful thinking?
I don't know. I think they're still growing and learning as they go on, as they move on. As they're going. So the only thing I could say why they're keeping this fight in Las Vegas right now is they do want to see what the potential is one of these fights making, right? One of these high profile fights, what they're going to generate on one given night.
Mm,
It's not fair to keep taking this thing to Dubai or Saudi Arabia when no one's really used to doing that yet, and you might waste a lot of money on getting something off the ground that wasn't ready. They might
mm,
not be ready to do that yet. They might look. We know that the prince out there is being real lenient on alcohol, and now they have a club, right? We've been told they have a club, but I don't want to sound like the devil, but maybe they do need to get a topless bar going and a club that doesn't cost, what was it, two
yeah.
grand or something to get into?
Yeah, no,
It wasn't
I
it
think in
something
dollars it was like 750 some
or
odd bucks.
seven
Yeah,
hundred dollars? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, okay, 700. Let's lowball it.
Uh,
$700. It let lowball it. Look at me.
I
Hey, you
know.
guys think you guys
Jesus.
think I'm rich, huh?
Yeah,
Last week I make millions like the other guys, and this week fucking
I
seven
know.
hundred.
You're like fucking pocket change. This is shit I find in between my cushions and my couch in this fucking house.
Shit.
Uh,
But so yeah, maybe they need it. Maybe they're just not ready yet. They're in the right direction,
mm,
right? But they got a ways to go because from what I was reading, that club does not serve alcohol. So while they're lenient on the alcohol thing, it's only certain areas that they will allow drinking.
mm,
That club is not in that area. So
mm.
you're paying $700 and you're still not getting a drink. You're drinking water and listening to music that you probably wouldn't be listening to unless you were drunk, right? So
Mm. What do you make of the fact that there's no rehydration clause here? I know we kind of are leaning towards desperation on Crawford's behalf, saying, "All right, look, we got to make this fight happen. I need the fucking payday. I've spent too many years not getting big paydays. I need to cash out now. Whatever you want. We'll do a small ring if you want, Canelo. We'll do no rehydration clause." I just threw that ring in there. But anyway,
yeah,
what do you think about that? It's like at least where, I mean, besides, and it just kind of looks like the only gain for Crawford here is just the payday. Like he can give two rats asses about actually trying to win the fight or having any sort of clause or any sort of negotiations in his favor besides just the payday, but no rehydration clause. A mistake?
it definitely is. One, it's the internet, so I'm not going to believe it until Crawford and Canelo put out what if they ever do tell us if there's a rehydration clause or not. I think they will.
Mhm.
What the weight limit is when they're supposed to check in. I guess that's the rehydration clause. If it's a catch weight 68 on the internet, I'm still not convinced that it's going to be 168 until I hear them say it. Then they'll tell us about the rehydration. So I've seen the internet, the boxing especially. The news in the boxing is getting a lot. It's getting real fake lately, and hey, I'm a part of it too. Sometimes I report shit that's not been confirmed yet, and then I find out it's a lie, and it's like, fuck, I just added to the bullshit that's going circulating around the the internet. We give you an example. All these fight cards that people keep making up through fucking AI and these little, doing their own
Yeah.
little, dream matches, and then Turkey's talking about him, so you're like, oh, is this really a fight card? And then when you later on, it's like, no, he's fighting in October, he's fighting in September. They're looking at this, and it's like, well, none of these fights are going to be on the same fucking card. Why are we putting, It's just real. It's kind of sad where the boxing media is going. I wish we would stop with all the graphics, graphic announcements or dream
Mhm.
matches, and guys are putting them on posters and stuff. Just get back to real news.
Yeah.
So
Reporting the stuff that's already on paper. The
it
ink is dried
confirmed.
on paper. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I really am. I can also throw in there all the internet beefing is really getting old. I don't know if it's because I'm turning 45 here in a few weeks, bro. But you guys look like little kids now. Telefimo Lopez going back and forth, Davis and Crawford going back and forth. It's just, is that really selling tickets? Guys trying to act like they did something in sparring matches. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Mm.
That's fucking sparring, dude. You don't see NBA stars out here like, I remember when I hit a three on Kobe when we were doing that practice game. Straight up prep, dog. He came at me right in his face. Yeah, have you ever heard anybody talking about a fucking practice game? And we're
Yeah.
talking about sparring? Come on, man. Like Floyd, dude, there's been many fighters. Floyd was one of them, though. Like, I was drunk when I fought that dude. Like, seriously, I came in from the club the night before. It was fucking 3 in the morning. I went there at 7. Talk about you got over you put hands on Floyd. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? This is not
Mhm.
making 100 million on that sparring match. So I'm tired of that too, Miguel.
Anybody got time for that? Um, all right.
Practice.
Yeah.
Fucking practice.
Talking
Hey,
about
you see
practice.
it too much now with the sparring videos, bro. Who
Yeah. Yeah.
did?
We do.
Someone just did one this week. Was it Davis? Someone did this week. I rocked him. He rocked somebody. Oh, I'll remember who it was. And it was like, oh, come on, man. We gotta quit with the sparring videos.
Yeah. Definitely that. Before we move on, was there anything else we wanted to add to this Crawford Canelo near finalization? Shit, we're talking about this fight as if it's already finalized, and it isn't even doing that. It's near finalized. But regardless, before we move on to the next topic, was there anything else you want to throw into it?
I will only say we're only like that because tomorrow it'll be announced as finalized. The day after, it's going to be announced as near. The day after that, Canelo will come out and say, I never agreed to anything. Don't believe anything you hear on the internet. I'll get back to you guys later. It's like, what the fuck? 3 different stories, 3 different days. So that's why sometimes you hear the us constantly with the flip flopping on the news. It's just the world we live in right now.
All right. Well, um, one of the next major topics or next major news or news that popped up within the last week was one Tyson Fury finally riding off into the sunset, or supposedly
We
throwing in
think,
the sand.
yeah,
We
he
think
flip flops too.
he's done it 3 times, I think, at this point. I want to say, I mean, geez, just the times that this guy has done this. We're not entirely sure if this is actually legit, but as of right now, we got to go with what was last said. Um, I would not be surprised if Anthony Joshua ends up stringing together 2 or 3 fight wins, and then boom, Tyson Fury's fucking back all of a sudden. Then we have some fight in the UK or something. But according to what he said, he's out. He said, "See you on the other side. Peace." He's out of here. Um, if you hear everyone else talk about it, including Eddie Hearn, say, "Well, if I had to fight Anthony Joshua, I'd retire too." Um, what do you make of it? What do you make of this? I mean, do we believe in this time? I mean, he is up there in age now, 2 losses in a row. This is the first time this ever happened to him. He's never had, obviously 1 loss prior to this, let alone 2, and now he's calling it quits. It's a little bit of a different scenario from the previous times that he's retired. Do we believe him this time?
Nope. I have to say no because it's his fourth time retiring.
But it's a different scenario, though. It's two
It
losses
is a
back to back.
different. It. it is a different scenario in the fact that I believe Tyson knows he doesn't feel welcomed over where boxing is now transitioned into. I do think that's a part of the reason why he's playing this game right now, of stepping away. Because I think if there was a fight in the UK that would make him a lot of money and it wasn't attached to someone that maybe he feels has burned him now twice, he would be fighting still. But when you're being told, remember these guys, they come from a different cloth, right? They don't listen to anyone. They got no land. They're roamers,
Hmm.
no law, right? Rebels. And now you got this guy basically trying, kind of told him he's not leaving the country at one point. He's like, I
Yeah.
don't care if you're cut, you're staying here. If you leave, it's 10 million. Just things like that, man. And then we know the religion thing is pretty big with Tyson. I could only imagine where his dislike for certain situations went through the roof when he was being told what are, certain rules probably over there that he can and cannot do. Like I said, you guys kind of never seen his dad over there. I think that should be showing us something about how strict they are. They're probably like, don't even bring him. We don't put up. We're not
Yeah.
gonna do it. He's gonna fucking go off the rails here, and we're gonna have to punish him. He's not you. We're not making 20 million off of him.
Yeah. Don't make us
It's
force you to not bring them.
one of these guys are gonna force them. I'm telling you, bro. Something's gonna happen over there where they're gonna have a lot of pressure on them from the elderly, the older political movement. That's gonna be like, dude, you told us we weren't gonna be Sin City. They're turning us into Sin City. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to get this back under control? And that's where things are going to get real freaking crazy over there. And, yeah, that's not even the right word, but sticky. I'll say that one,
Mm.
right? Um, hopefully not from blood on hands, but you know what I mean.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's where I'm saying, they might seen. Remember when I told you 2025, October of 2025, come back and talk to me. We'll see where Rihad is, where His Excellency is. Well,
Mm.
this is a part of that. In May of 2025, they're still fighting in Las Vegas. So I guess as far or no, that's September.
Oh yeah,
September
Crawford. Yeah,
of
Crawford Canelo September.
2025.
Yeah.
So that'll be huge. And then they're saying Garcia versus Haney, excuse me,
Mm.
is in New York. Did you hear that one?
Yes, yes. That's going to be the next
That's going to
story
be in
there.
the
Yeah,
notes. So if that's
yeah.
in New York, that's another one that's not in Riyadh. So maybe the whole Riyadh thing isn't playing too good right now. So
Hmm.
they're thinking of another avenue. I definitely know they need a fighter that's closer to out there, UK, Saudi Arabia itself, like De La Hoya was saying, um, to maximize their profits. It's not going to be William Cepeda from Mexico.
Mm.
It's not going to be
No, no,
Saul
no.
Alvarez. You know,
Sure.
it's not going to be that drives. Even like a Manny Pacquiao, the Asian fan base would probably travel if another Manny was to come out. Guy goes 8 divisions, 14 pay-per-view fights in a row. I forgot how many of them he was undefeated for, but he did very good. Maybe even an Asian fighter might do good for them over there. But yeah, they still got growing. They're not going to be Javante Davis. Can
No,
tell
no,
you that
no,
right
no.
now.
And we'll,
It's
we'll
not
get
going
to
to be
that
him.
momentarily. So what? Since we're kind of trying to call Tyson Fury's bluff on his retirement, what do you think is going to bring him back? Like I guess I mentioned it earlier. Let's say Anthony Joshua strings together a couple of fights. All right, maybe Anthony Joshua, right? Because that has been on again, off again for some time already. Let's say Daniel Dubois beats Joseph Parker, rematches Usyk, and let's say he beats Usyk. Let's say that boom, he comes back for someone like Daniel Dubois, who's also English. Um, would those be probably the only two scenarios that would bring him back? Because he's not going to come back for no chump change. It's going to be a major fucking fight. If he really isn't, I mean, if he isn't retired the way he said he is, and we're going to call his bluff, what other fights would bring him back?
It might just be a goodbye fight in the UK. I don't know. One, I don't know what his relationship is with His Excellency right now. I don't know what his feelings are about what he thinks happened to him on that decision
Mm,
over there. So that could be the reason why he's stepping away right now. So why would he be working with this guy in the future, right? For Tyson, it could just be that he's done. He's not um wasn't felt respected. Um might have been told what to do behind closed doors. Didn't like that,
mm.
right? We know Usyk was. I don't know why they wouldn't have told Tyson Fury the same thing,
Yeah. Or
right?
maybe like what we said it coming out to Mariah Carey, "All I Want for Christmas,"
Oh,
for
I'm
fuck's
talking
sake.
about all
As
that.
soon as that is like, okay, that was his like, yeah, this is what I think of you, Turkey. I'm out of here now.
Yeah, no, of course. All I want for Christmas.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is the undisputed championship? No. All right.
They say
Um,
that's a word you're not even supposed to say in
mhm.
public. Come on, man. Like the writing's on the wall on what was going on out there.
Yeah.
Um, then the whole rumor about them telling Usyk he couldn't wear the cross,
Hmm.
right? So I think that's a little bit more. I'm leaning more towards that's why he retired. So I don't see any of those guys because look, you guys, Anthony Joshua was already on the table. If it's true, if the rumors are true that His Excellency is already thinking about Joshua Wilder, a fight that we said was we wanted to see too because they've been there. These guys are of the same era. They should fight. Then for sure Tyson Fury was above Wilder.
Hmm.
Wilder is only in the slot now because Fury retired.
Yeah.
So I have to think that that's not motivation for him to come back because he that fight would probably been announced this week if Tyson Fury wouldn't have retired.
All right. Fair enough. Well,
Can you
um,
imagine? Could you imagine a Eubank and Connor Ben with Fury and AJ on the same card? Could you imagine that card in the UK?
yeah,
80,000, bro,
80,000
guaranteed,
standing room only. Yeah, it'll get there.
guaranteed, guaranteed.
Well, we will definitely keep you
Carl
posted on
Carl
that.
Froch would be crying somewhere.
Right. Like, don't you dare break my record, shit. Go to a smaller venue, please. Um, but we'll definitely keep you posted because I'm sure there's going to be some flip flopping back and forth. We're going to hear, you know, I'm sure we're going to see Tyson Fury on his social media talking about psych, I'm back within like a few months. So anyway, we'll keep you posted because we're going to call his bluff. We have to. So in regards to what you were saying a couple of stories ago about enough of this talking online social media shit, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, it seems as though, as of right now, the lawsuit has been paused, or I don't know. I've read one story that says it's been completely called off. I've even read another story that said it's been momentarily paused because it was announced that we're going to get a rematch between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia in October, as Andrew mentioned earlier, in New York. I don't remember seeing the venue. Did you see the venue? Was it Barclays or was it MSG? I don't know if I saw the menu.
I didn't see the
The venue,
venue.
sorry.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's going to be New York. You know, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. I don't know if I've ever told you this, Andrew, but one of my what do I call it? What is it called when you have like a checklist that you
Bucket
want to do
list.
before you die? A
Bucket
bucket list.
list.
Thank you. One of my bucket list things is to watch a boxing fight worth watching in MSG. We might get this one here. I've been to New York. I've been to Barclays Center. I've watched the UFC card there, but I want to see a fucking boxing fight in the mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden. This may be it. Who knows? We're talking about October down the line. I might be able to scratch that off the list, but it looks like we're going to get the rematch. Now, not only are we going to get a rematch between Haney and Ryan, um, earlier in the week, there have been a lot of tweets going out back and forth in regards to both these guys fighting other opponents before then, because we still have quite a ways from October. So it's looking like Devin Haney, who posted on one of his social media accounts saying buy 140. Buy, I mean BYE as in bye bye. In other words, he's going to 147. That's what it looks like. It appears as though he's going to be fighting Jose Ramirez before he fights Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia will be doing the same and fighting someone else before he fights Haney in October, that being Pitbull Cruz. Now, both of these guys, I'm talking about Jose Ramirez and Pitbull Cruz, are coming off losses. So I think that's one of the reasons why they were selected here. However, in a couple of weeks, on the undercard of David Benavidez and David Morrell, Pitbull Cruz will be fighting Angel, what's his name, Fierro, this guy named Angel Fierro. On
Now,
the
wait a minute. That
yes,
fight didn't get canceled.
as of right now, it's still on the card. That's what I've seen. I don't know if it's been canceled or completely removed,
You
but that's what it
know,
looks like, huh?
you know what I seen in the last fight poster was they have Valenzuela now as the main event, where Pitbull Cruz was the main event before. Did you catch that? Yeah, there's a new fight poster circulating the internet where it shows Benavidez Morel, and then it's Valenzuela versus whoever he's fighting. And Cruz ain't on there anymore. Because
Hold on.
before the fight, I think I sent it to you either in Facebook or Instagram. Before the fight poster showed Benavidez and Morel on top, and then
Hmm.
Pitbull and his opponent on the bottom one.
Well, okay. As of 1 day ago, and mind you, this is the PBC Instagram account. They still have that fight listed on there. As of right now, they still have because what's his name? Valenzuela has one of the Russell brothers on the undercard
Yes.
of Tank and Lamont Roach Jr. So that's going to be
Oh,
hard.
that's where that one is.
That's what that one is.
Never mind. That's
Okay.
where that one is. I sent you that one. My bad.
Yeah.
I got it mistaken. I thought it was Cruz on the
Oh
undercard of
no.
that. So Cruz is
Mm,
on Pitbull Morel. You're
mm.
right. Never mind. Scratch that.
So it looks like
This is
Pitbull
ridiculous. Oh my
Pitbull is
god.
gonna have two fights like kind of close to one another. He's gonna fight this guy Fierro in a couple of weeks on the undercard of Morale and Benavidez, and then at some point between now and October, he's gonna have to fight Ryan Garcia, according to what I'm hearing here. So Haney's got Jose Ramirez. Ryan has Pitbull Cruz before October. What do you make of all this?
They already tried that with Pitbull. He didn't make the first fight. Right? They remember they had to pull Pitbull Cruz off of the Katsia Zoo card.
Oh, Timzu.
Timzu, yes, excuse me,
Yeah.
Katsia. Timzu. He was on the
Uh-huh.
undercard of that one. He
Oh
never
shit, you're
makes
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
he never makes that date. Look, this is not, and I don't
But
even know if
it's
the
2 weeks
UFC.
though. It's 2 weeks between now and then. That.
Ex, yeah, and we're talking months. We're talking activity. How many fights has he had back to back? Look, you guys, I love the Garcia Pitbull fight, right?
Mm, mm.
But do I love the Garcia Pitbull fight as a warm up to the Devin Haney rematch? No,
Nah, that's
no.
a high risk, huh?
Yeah, dude. There's no reward there. It's all risk, no reward. Nobody's gonna make Garcia a household name because he outboxes Pitbull Cruz. He's already a household name.
But no cred, at least no street cred, saying like, all right, I did, I mean, mind you, Pitbull did lose to Valenzuela, so already got that right. It wasn't like he hasn't already been outboxed, but
Miguel,
for Ryan to do that,
their fight is already worth $100 million. The Haney versus Garcia rematch is already worth $100 million. Nobody's giving him more credit for beating Pitbull before that fight.
okay,
At least more money. Maybe respect, yes, but more money, no. The tickets aren't going up another 10 grand. Okay? So to me, it's all risk, no reward. Dick, man, what happens if it goes south? What happens in that one? Now you ruined a
mm-hmm.
potential $100 million fight. What? Because you wanted the opponent to be tougher? The fight's
Mm-hmm.
already sold. Haney versus Garcia is already sold. We don't need to risk. Jose Ramirez, I love that guy to death. I thought he was going to be way bigger than what he turned out to be, but that's a perfect matchup for Devin Haney.
And
Now,
coming off the
Jose,
loss too.
yeah, Jose, I hope you can bring it back and look a lot better than what you have in the last few fights or few years. But that is a warm up fighter. Pitbull Cruz is not a warm up fighter, dude. That is a pay per view fucking title defense type of guy. I don't care coming off a loss or not. Pitbull Cruz is in his prime. He's a household name in Mexico, so he's gonna bring his own fan base. That's not a warm up fight. That's not a start. You might get cut. You might take a defeat. You might get knocked out. It's a dumb fight. That dude, listen. If his dream of having these guys fight harder fights goes backwards, um, this is gonna be the second time this happened to him, where he put a guy into Tim Tszyu being the other one. I thought Tim Tszyu never needed to be in that fight with, who was it, Fundora? His Excellency didn't have
No.
nothing to do with that though, huh? That was just PBC.
No, that was PBC. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
supposed to
because
be Fundora. It was supposed to be shit. Who the fuck was it supposed to be? It wasn't supposed to be um damn it, Charlo. It wasn't Charlo, was it?
Spence? Was it
No, it wasn't.
Spence?
Wasn't Spence. It was supposed to. Damn it! It wasn't Virgil Ortiz, was it? Was it Virgil Ortiz? Because I know that was supposed to be for the Crawford. Damn it, I forgot. But it was supposed to be.
Yeah, but someone
Thurman,
pulled
Keith
out
Thurman. Keith Thurman.
Keith Thurman. There you go.
That's right.
There you go. Yeah. So we don't want to see. I just don't want to see too many of these type of fights. Look, the thing we were talking about the other day, the UFC model,
Mhm.
that's good for short term excitement, short term satisfaction, but that's not good for the long term. We've seen when you put guys in back to back fights, it can go totally south for their career. You burn them out. You get them injured. Right now they're more on the injury list than they are fighting, because you put them in back to back fights and they kept getting hurt.
Two tough training camps back to back. That's just rough on your body.
Yes. So when I seen Pitbull Cruz for Ryan Garcia's first fight back, it's a dangerous opponent. To me, it's all risk, no reward. It does nothing for the rematch. The rematch is already sold. We just needed to get them two guys in the ring, and maybe 1 million people are going to buy to watch that thing. Maybe. You take a defeat from Pitbull Cruz, can guarantee you 1 million people aren't going to watch the rematch between him and Haney. So, now you can say maybe the ball keeps rolling and then Pitbull will be the new man, yada yada yada. It's just not the thing I want to. This is not the model that I'm going after. Dude, you can even say De La Hoya did the same thing, and I can guarantee you guys, that's my prime in boxing as a media member. You know what everyone was saying behind De La Hoya's back? He don't know how to run a fucking company. He doesn't know. He's just fucking throwing this guy versus that guy. And Rocky War has fought for how many fucking titles back to back to back? His career was like 2 years long because of it. There was a lot of people that they said Oscar drove their careers right into the ground because he put them in too big of fights, even the Canelo willing and dealing. Look, Oscar can blame it on the fighters all he wants. At the end of the day, he's the promoter that signed the contract too, right? He struck the deal. So you could blame Ryan Garcia, you could blame Saul Alvarez for taking deals that they shouldn't have, and we had told them not to do it. But at the end of the day, you're still the promoter who signed the name on it, and you still did it too. So all of Floyd's opponents, he basically sided with the guy that didn't even like him.
Yeah.
Yet Floyd got to rape him every single time at the negotiating table. It's weird stuff, dude. So but when Golden Boy first takes off, they have all the fighters. Oscar fucking signs everybody out there, and yeah, a lot of dudes take L's because he just doesn't know. He's young and he's fucking just matchmaking, sort of what this Turkey Ali Sheik is doing right now. He's young and just out here. I want to see this guy fight that guy, and then a few months later, you're gonna fight that guy. Those are two pretty hard opponents, bro. Like it's not. Ryan Garcia is not a UFC fighter. Fuck around and get him cut. He will not show up in October. Sorry. He has 30 million in the bank, not 30 grand. When you're talking about having control over fighters like that, you better have them a little bit less fucking with the millions in the fucking bank account. You know what I mean? There's reasons why guys in the UFC fight with noses like that.
Yeah.
I'm just
What do you
trying
think?
to be real.
So what I saw recently with Devin Haney and his I think it was Twitter or Instagram post saying buy 140, saying like buy 140. Chances are his fight here with Ramirez is going to be at 147. Ramirez has never fought at 147 to my knowledge. Maybe he did recently. I don't remember right offhand, but I don't think he's fought at 147 yet. Chances are the same thing's going to happen with Ryan. Ryan's not going to fight in a 140, 143. He's going to be fighting most likely at 147, making Pitbull move up to 147. Chances are. It looks like we're going to get both these fights at 147. Um, would that help him to any degree? Because not only is he most likely going, I mean, talking about Ryan, not only is he most likely going to make Pitbull go to 147, but Pitbull has his fight coming up in February in a couple of weeks. Let's say that goes south for Pitbull. Let's say it doesn't go well for him. Let's say he does get cut. Are they gonna swap him out with somebody else? You think?
Oh,
Like, let's
most
say because
definitely.
I mean that, or he loses or something like that. Like, is there gonna be any interest if Pitbull Cruz does lose to Fierro and then he goes on and then at that point, what the fuck is gonna happen? Will we still have Pitbull Cruz and Ryan Garcia or no?
He's a hype job. He loses back-to-back fights, right?
Mhm.
He won't even be looked at as a contender anymore. He loses back-to-back fights. Um, and if he gets cut, yeah, I mean the fight. It matters on when they're planning. When's the date? Did they put a date for Garcia Pitbull yet? Is there a date for it?
No, no. The only thing that I've seen is that they're gonna fight before they fight one another. But as far as like actually having dates or anything like that, let me go back to that specific post because I want to say it was Ring Magazine. Oh no, it was
So
ESPN
look,
Knockout.
so we
Uh-huh.
know that De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn are doing a fight card, a 5 for 5 in June, right? Didn't they say
Yes.
that was going to be in June? Is this the potential main event for that fight? Oh no, Pitbull's not Eddie Hearn. Never mind.
No, Pitbull is still PBC as far as I'm concerned. I
Yeah,
mean, as far as I remember, I mean, I don't remember him going anywhere else, but or at least he's fought on PBC in the last few cards. But yeah, as far as I've read, there is no date as to when Garcia
when
has
he fought
Pitbull.
when he fought Valenzuela, that was in Riyadh.
Shit, I don't remember. I want to say yes. I'm almost certain that it was on the undercard of a Riyadh card. I mean, it was like the co-main event or something like that.
So
But
I was
yes,
wondering if
I'm almost certain.
maybe he sold a co like contract with Eddie Matchroom at that point to get on that
Mhm.
card. But whatever the case, yeah, no, I definitely don't want to see. It's hard to say. For the money that they're going to want to make, you don't want to see Pitbull take two losses before he faces Garcia, right?
Mhm.
You'd
Mhm.
rather him win the fight, and then that makes him and Garcia at least a very good matchup. So yeah, I want to see Pitbull win. I don't want to see him lose, and I think it hurts the fight tremendously if he takes another loss, than proclaiming that he's some headliner or household name and take it to. Because it really, bro, Valenzuela is not a household name.
Mhm.
Valenzuela is probably a fight. Now look, he might go on to be one and might be go on to be really good, even though he keeps his head pretty high. He might go on to be really good. We don't know that yet. But as of right now, he was kind of already taking a big time upset when he lost that fight. Now you're telling me this guy, this other guy that's kind of unknown beats him again before Ryan Garcia? I mean, what's left for Ryan?
Mhm.
You got two upset losses, and now you think we're going to be surprised if Ryan knocks your head off? Because at that point, I think everyone's going to be thinking Ryan's going to knock his head off too. Pitbull isn't the greatest at defense.
Right. And he was I rocked a couple of times when he did fight Valenzuela. I think Valenzuela caught him with like an uppercut that kind of rung his bell a little bit. So if he caught him with that, I'm fairly certain that Ryan will be able to catch him with his left. Could they? Because this seems like how can I explain it? They went to Pitbull and said, "All right, Pitbull, you got this fight coming up in February, but here's money to potentially fight, uh, Garcia later on." They're kind of using almost like Pitbull's ego against him. It's just like, dude, it's not even like they're gonna remove him from the February card. It's like, all right, now we're gonna get you a proper training camp, a full rest, and then boom, we have you against Ryan. We have a guy. I don't even know who the hell Angel Fierro is. it may turn out to be a total bust, and he may fucking lose, and then there goes, a potential fight with Ryan Garcia. It just seemed like, they're throwing money at fucking Pitbull, and he's just like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll take all these fights. I don't give a fuck, like, because he will. That's why he's that they got him. Kind of fucked up. I think it's like that. They're kind of using Pitbull
I
like
would have
that.
pulled out if I was Pitbull Cruz. I would not be
Yeah.
doing the PBC fight. Ryan Garcia is way bigger. You win the Garcia fight. You're on His Excellency next pay-per-view match.
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
Um, on
I definitely would have pulled out.
on Devin Haney's side, fighting somebody we mentioned, we kind of blew it off really fighting someone like Jose Ramirez, because Jose Ramirez, I think, coming off a loss to Barboza, I think it was his last fight at 140, if I'm not mistaken. Um, he's kind of a tall dude. I don't know how tall he is. I mean, like for 140, now gonna most likely fight at 147 against Devin. Um, does he have a shot of winning here? I'm talking about Ramirez. I mean, yes, he's kind of on the downside of his career. Looks like he just doesn't have that same spark. But fighting in a new weight class, 147, I want to say at least it appears as though he's taller than Devin. And then this being also Devin's first fight at 147, I think that would benefit Jose Ramirez. The guy's a pretty big motherfucker. I don't know. Are we maybe overlooking Jose Ramirez here?
He's looked flat for a few years now. He looks unmotivated in the
Mhm.
ring. Josh Taylor really did a number on him. I think might have taken the fight out of him. Now he just gets phone calls and is curious if he wants to make a few dollars. I think that's what these. Sometimes when
Mm.
he fights, that's what I think he's thinking when he when he answers the phone. He's like, I don't know. Do I want to do training camp? They're saying I'll make 100 grand. Fuck it. I'll do 100 grand. Why not? Right? That's how he fights. I don't know. So I yell at the TV like punch
Yeah.
motherfucker when he's fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's just no
He
sense of urgency on him. He's
no.
going through some of the early rounds, and I'm like, is he losing? Because he does not fighting like he's fucking losing. He's not fighting like, oh shit, I'm behind on the cards. Let me pick it up. It doesn't never seem like that.
Right. Right. So I don't know if he's just into conditioning and making money right now. Um so with that being said, no, I don't think we're overlooking him. I think Ramirez is what he is for the last few years, and that's unmotivated and just going through the motions, unfortunately. Now, with that being said, we don't know who Devin Haney is right now, right? Devin
Mm,
Haney might have a glass jaw. He might be a little fucking snake bitten from the
gun shy.
Garcia,
Yeah.
gun shy. Might have a little AJ in him where now he needs to get hit to see if he took the punch right, and he's gonna be thinking more about, am I hurt? Oh no. Oh, I'm not hurt. Let me go on with the fight. Like, yeah, AJ just thinks that. I swear to God, I think he has to think after every punch, except when it was who's the guy that knocked him out?
Oh, Dubois, Daniel Dubois.
Dubois. Yeah, Dubois just put his ass out. But yeah, so we don't know which Devin Haney's going to show up. That's why it's a good fight. I feel kind of bad for Barbosa. That's a name that's he's getting no love. Dude switches promoters, gets another win against a high caliber fighter, and Ramirez still gets no love. Not their Boots isn't mentioning him. Lopez isn't mentioning him. He's not even that good, you guys. I mean, seriously, I'm not trying to knock you, Barbosa. I know you pay attention to the show. You text me. Uh,
Yeah, he slides in my DMs every so often.
yeah. So it's no knock to you, dude. It's just fucking, come on. You're not the fucking dark horse of this division like everyone. Why can't this guy get a fight? Eddie, do your fucking job. You know what I mean? Like, he's undefeated. Get him a fight with
No,
one of
he's
these.
with Oscar now. No, isn't he with Oscar now? Is that what it is?
I
I
thought he
want to
went
say
with. Oh, okay, he went Golden Boy. He
he
went
went
gold. I
Golden
thought he
Boy
went
because so
to
did
Eddie.
what's his name his Ramirez, when they both went, they were both with Top
Okay.
Rank. We thought we were gonna get that fight back then they moved over to Golden Boy. They're both a Golden Boy. So Oscar, what the fuck, get him a damn fight
Yeah.
already. What the hell?
Get the guy a fight already. Why isn't Barbosa fighting
Yes,
Ramirez? Garcia.
Ryan, why
Garcia.
isn't he? That would be
Yeah.
perfect. That would be hella fucking perfect. That
Yeah,
really
because
would be a
he
step.
doesn't have the pop. He doesn't have the pop. He's undefeated.
Mhm.
You know, um, Pitbull Cruz is gonna look pretty small at 147. Garcia is
Yeah.
gonna tower him. He's gonna look a lot bigger than him frame wise. Um, The Devin Haney moving to 147, not a bad idea because they've always said Haney's been a big lightweight, junior welterweight kind of guy.
Hmm.
Let's hope that let's see what he fills into. Maybe he'll be a decent size welterweight here to give Ryan a good run for his money on the rematch. If Ryan wants to come in overweight, at least Devin will be at a nice have a nice body frame to go in with this fight. Won't be starving himself as much anymore.
Hmm. I pulled it up here real quick. Ramirez is a 5'10" according to what Wiki says, and Haney is 5'8". So he's got a couple of inches on him. Not
Yeah.
bad, especially the way you mentioned that we don't know which Haney we're gonna see that night. Not that Ramirez is a knockout puncher per se. He's got pop, but I mean we've never seen him at 147, so who the fuck knows? But pretty interesting that obviously a lot more risk on Ryan's side with fighting somebody like Pitbull if we get to that point, because Pitbull has to get past Fierro first, right, in February. But on Devin's side, seems like it's the safer bet. He gets more of a buy against someone like Ramirez. Again, no knock on Ramirez, but we know where he is in his career right now. A lot more risk on Ryan's side. Definitely strange that they're going in this direction. Like, it really kind of feels like Turkey is doing, this playing with my ant farm kind of thing. Like, let me go ahead and put these guys here and let's make these fights happen. And just because that's what he thinks, he's gonna like or he's gonna enjoy, watching somebody like Ryan fight Pitbull first, and then Devin with Jose Ramirez. I don't know. It just seems like uh, who's gonna tell him like, no, no, don't do that. You shouldn't be doing that. No, let's just go straight to fucking Ryan and Haney. Fuck these prep fights, or I don't know, figure out or find lesser known fighters to get these guys warmed up, not more dangerous guys like Pitbull or something like that. I don't know. Kind of interesting that this is the direction that Turkey went.
He'll have to see it fail first. When he sees it fail, that's when they'll go behind closed doors, and you'll have men like Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn basically. That's when they're going to start explaining the history of boxing and how it's different from the UFC in the sense that the guys train different. They train for longer fighters, right? So the chances of getting hurt in boxing are probably greater because you're fighting for 12 rounds, right? It's a longer period of time. And in the octagon or whatever, we know when these guys are injured, they can prolong a fight by just wrestling a man to the mat and laying on
Mhm,
him for two
mhm,
minutes out of the 5 minutes of the round, right? They can there's ways to make it last in a octagon more than in a boxing ring. That and the pay is more. These guys, they're used to making more money. There's a lot that is going to go into this. What his excellency is expecting from these guys, that I don't think it's going to work. We've seen it before. I think eventually the old timers will get into his head and go, look, you got to build up these matches. You got to do smart matchmaking. Yes, you want your fighter to have the advantage. I'm sorry, we're not looking for opponents to beat our fucking cash cow,
mhm.
right? Where his excellency right now is like, I don't have a cash cow. I give a fuck about Tyson Fury. I give a fuck
Yeah.
about
That's what I'm
Usyk,
saying.
right?
He's just playing with his little ant farm. He's just like, all
Yeah.
right, let's go ahead and put the little magnifying glass on this fucking, like he's just playing God here, and he's just gonna maneuver him however he needs to,
You
and not knowing the repercussions.
you don't think Top Rank fucking knew Big Baby? If you make one mistake, Bulky's gonna
Like,
knock you the fuck out. That
mhm,
guy hits like a mule.
mhm.
They probably all knew about the
Yeah.
danger of him
Well, they
facing that
did. That's what
guy.
Chris Mannix said. Chris Mannix
Yeah.
even said it on the broadcast himself. He's like, if they had if Top Rank had their way, this fight wouldn't be happening. He
Yeah.
flat out said it.
Yeah. And I believe it because they're very successful in getting their fighters to the top, and that's through matchmaking. So
Mhm,
His Excellency will have to learn the game. Even Oscar did. Oscar had to learn the game of matchmaking. At the very end when it was all said and done, the whole just everyone, the best will fight the best. I think that's one of the Golden Boy used to say back in the day,
mhm,
right? And
mhm.
the best are gonna fight the best. That shit all went away once you see that you're running out of roads there pretty quick because everyone's beating each other, and it's just there's not the ball's not rolling. Doesn't roll as
Mhm.
as good as when you have these stories built, these rivalries built, right? So we just don't want it to go 6 years like the
Mhm.
Pacquiao fucking
Yeah,
Mayweather thing.
Mayweather shit.
We can't do that. But as
Mhm.
long as we do it right, and let the Frank Warrens, the Eddie Hearns, and I'm leaning on them because they were the only ones in that picture. As long as we let these men to continue to do their job, we should be fine. Look at Chris Eubank and
Conor
Connor
Ben.
Ben.
Mhm.
They'll show us a little bit of how good Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn can still put on if they can really build a fight. We know. Look, I'll give them credit. Carl Froch, and I don't know who threw the fight, you guys, but Carl Froch versus Groves.
Mhm.
Remember that fight? They did
Mhm.
80. Oh, we always talk about it. Look, I'm going to say it like no one knew. Ha! Froch says it every time, but they were very successful.
He doesn't let us forget.
Exactly. They were very successful in their fights, right? Anthony Joshua has been very successful under Eddie Hearn in all of his fights out there. The Kell Brook versus Khan, even though it wasn't the same probably price range that it would have been if they would have fought when they were both champions, the
Mhm.
place was packed. It was still packed. So what I'm trying to say is at least Warren and Eddie has shown that they can still generate fighters' interest in the UK to get them to sell out arenas, right? So we got it. We got. That's why I mean His Excellency needs to lean more on these men that have made the success of boxing what it is, because at the end of the day, they are still on top of the world when you talk about numbers in combat sports.
Or learn to fail really fast, because that's gonna end up happening if he doesn't let the guys who know run the shit.
Yep.
So speaking of failing, these are two stories that are kind of sort of combined here. One back to back. I'm gonna go with this one here first before I pull it up here. So it was recently tweeted by one Rick Glazer. Um, this is what he said: being told by a rock solid source that Amazon Prime will be dropping PBC boxing in May, as PBC has failed to hit minimum pay per view numbers. This will be the 12th platform that has permanently disassociated themselves from PBC since the inception of PBC in March of 2015. Another Al Heyman fumble. So that's half of it. What is the other half? Well, apparently, we're not going to get Fundora and Errol Spence, a PBC card, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Um, Whatever happened with Spence, Spence backed out. The story was that there was even a possibility that they were going to put in Joey Spencer, which was a former PBC guy. I think he's with Matchroom now. Even the gentleman who upset Tim Zoo, Bakram Murat. Damn it! I almost had it. I almost had it. Mortaz Aliyev, geez, he posted out on his social media, Fundora, let's give the fans what they deserve after Ramadan. Okay, well, that's after April. So he's down to fight, but after April, if I'm not mistaken. But last I read, I think they're scrapping that fight and that event altogether. Now, I don't have clarification on that. I don't know if they're getting rid or they're scrapping the entire event entirely or just that particular card and removing Fundora from the card. But about failing, that is a PBC card and it's looking like shit. And now we're seeing what Rick Glazer is saying, that Amazon Prime is going to be dropping PBC in May. May is right after April and March. We're not even going to get to half of the fucking year before Amazon Prime says, "All right, y'all had your shot. Time to get the fuck out of here." Wow, huh? How quickly has this year changed? We were anticipating some major news with or a major fight with Tank Davis. He's going to end up fighting, of course, Lamont Roach in March. According to what I'm reading here, in a few months after that, there's going to be no more PBC in Amazon Prime, and maybe no PBC at all. What do you make of this?
Um, Jump ship now, Pitt. Still got to lean on Pitbull Cruz. Should not be fighting under on that card anymore.
Right.
I feel like it's not going to make them. Oh, thank you. That was my daughter telling me that my wife's getting my coffee. Thank you.
Oh, right on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um. So everyone should be a little bit nervous, right? Um. PBC's in that kind of state where they're not going to pick up the phone maybe when you go to get your next check. You know, you got to be a little bit nervous and and I say that when we've already heard stories from Mr. Glazier about Al Heyman might not even be in the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's already playing ghost to some of these guys. Um, you heard about the Charlo fight being canceled? So Charlo was supposed to come back against Thomas Mana. I don't know how to say his last name. He's a middleweight contender, a young kid. He got knocked out by Lara pretty bad.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Oh,
You
I know that dude.
Lara
Yes, yes, I
Lara
know.
knocked him out like in the second round or something like that.
Yeah, that dude fell fucking stiff as shit. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
He was supposed to fight him. I guess that fight got canceled like
Oh god.
yesterday or the day before that.
Yeah.
So the PBC is falling apart right now. I don't, thank you, Ben. So I don't know, what they're doing over there. We've seen that Amazon never announced anything before. It's like since they announced them opening them as a part of their streaming app, they never went any further. It was never a second announcement. There was never anything about a series starting. Right when the
Mm.
PBC kept saying they were going to do a series with them, nothing ever came out. So it was just a shot in the dark. I think it was one of Al Heyman being pretty desperate. And we joked about that, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how could Amazon say no? They didn't have to put in anything but show up to the event and basically put their name on the fucking back wall
All right.
and see if they made money,
Mm.
and it was just all hit L like, oh, we'll do all the work, but L was nothing more but a hustler. I'm sorry to all of you boxing fans that still cling on to this PBC thing like it was a legit company. It never was. They had a lot of money. They threw a lot of
Well,
fights.
they had us fooled for a little bit, right? I mean, when they saw like
Some.
free boxing on fucking Fox and shit like that, I was like, oh shit, all right, we might be back with this, right? And then they tried monopolizing the welterweight division and stuff like that. And for a minute, I was like, okay, I think I can get on board. And then, we see guys like Deontay Wilder with their title defenses, and I'm like, okay, maybe not. But I mean, they had us
the
fooled for at
Gary
least a couple of seconds.
Russells,
Oh yeah.
the Gary Russells, his title defenses, the way they blackballed Terrence Crawford out of the whole you're on the wrong side of the street was one of the I don't want to say gayest, I'll say weakest fucking things I've ever heard out
Uh,
of prize fighters was
mm.
we can't do a fight because you're on the wrong side of the street. So whack. That was so, and then people that thought that was fucking hard, that Spence would walk around saying that, or that you got it, Gabe, that was like a flex.
Well, it's because they thought they had leverage. They thought they had like,
Weak.
yeah, that's right. You're on the outside looking at motherfucker. That's how it is. That was what they were legitimately thinking. So they were talking all this smack from that point of view.
So that was really weak. Then to get retired as soon as you fight the guy, he just beats the living dog shit out of
Yeah,
you until the point that you can't even return. It
yeah.
just makes that.
Announce your fight against Fundora and then drop, move up to 154 according to this, right? I mean, there was even a
It's
possibility of
even
having a
two of it. I
rematch.
think this is the second time Spence has pulled out since Crawford. This has to be his
Has it?
second
I don't
fight.
know. Well, I
This
mean,
has to be the second fight he's
well,
pulled
I
out
want
of.
to say I think there were talks of a possible rematch at 154, and they couldn't come to an agreement with Spence and Crawford. So that was one that just,
Yeah,
fell
because
to
he
the
didn't
wayside.
pass a. I thought he didn't pass a physical though too.
Oh, hey, we
And
might be, might. Well, this is the same thing because one of the things that Crawford, I'm sorry, one of the things that Spence has posted on his social media is saying shit like I want to give you guys my best. Okay, so what does that mean? That you're not at your best right now, home dog? Is that why? Like, listen, this is on his. He's like, he says, "I'll be back. I'll be back when I'm ready." So you ain't ready then, fool? Is that what you're trying to tell us? That you ain't ready for fucking March, homie? That's kind of what you're telling us, bro. That's kind of we can connect the dots. That's what you're saying. So, and it sucks. I feel bad for Fundora. Fundora's got two belts in the fucking weight class, right? He's looking for an opponent. He might not have a promotion. You might have a promoter, or have a platform with Amazon Prime. If they're going to bounce from the plan here, it's going to be these guys are going to have to start jumping ship now, before
Oh
things get
yeah.
in. So Fundora, if you're reading this, if you're listening to this, by all means, time to hop, go to somewhere else, go to fucking Matchroom, go to
Oh,
somewhere
they're
else. I don't know.
used to it. Some of these guys are used to sneaking out a back door and run into a new pimp. Oh, right. They all did it to Oscar. You know what? That was one thing, Miguel, that I could not fucking believe. And it showed once again the age of His Excellency, which he's only in his 40s. I found that out this
Mm,
weekend.
okay.
My friend did a little research on him. She came
Mm,
back, told me he was 44, I believe. Like
okay.
he's right around my age. I was like, damn, he's hella rich. Didn't he
Well,
paid
he is Saudi.
attention.
So.
He paid attention in school.
Nah, he was lucky enough to be born in the right family. How about that?
All right, maybe. Um, what was I going to tell you right now?
That he's 44. Oh,
Yeah.
pimps. They sneak out. They sneak out.
Oh yeah. How the fuck did Richard Schaefer get in that picture, bro? How in the hell do we not have an American promoter in that picture at the Ring Magazine award
Mm,
show on the stairs that we were all observing? But Richard's in it. How did
mm.
that snake get in the fucking room? Like His
He
Excellency,
slithered in. He
oh
fucking
my
slithered in.
god,
That's the only
dude!
thing.
I bet you he was like working the kitchen or something. It's like I'm in, put on tuxedo and went in there, started willing and dealing again. Oh, I have many connections in boxing. You ain't got shit in boxing.
Yeah,
God,
I got Pro Bellum boxing, Pro Bellum promotion, guys. That's what I got here. You guys should come and sign with me, Fundora. No, but
literally took everyone from his boy,
mm,
has him go to Al Heyman, and then Al Heyman does what to him? Nothing. Just cuts him loose too. You literally took everyone from De La Hoya to get sold out by Al Heyman at the very end. Fucking dirty. Now I don't know how Richard Schaefer's in that room. That's a weird one. It's a weird one. Straight backstabber.
hmm he definitely snuck in, no doubt about it. Um, kind of crazy. We're probably within a few months now of the demise of PBC. So I'm kind of I try not to talk about some of the stuff when I go and I interview fighters, but the fact that we're approaching that already, I think I kind of want to now. Like whenever I see PBC guys, I kind of want to bring up this tweet, be like, hey man, I don't know if you know this. I mean, I'm sure you do, but um, I know you keep up with social media. I'm sure you do. Pull up the Rick Glazer's thing. I don't know if they'll take it kindly or not, but it's like almost if you don't know, now you know. Now you should know, I guess I
Is
should
there
say.
even is there even a front office for PBC anymore?
I don't know. Is it a Barclays in New York? Because that's
Yeah,
where
or
they
is
have
it
the
at
majority, or the Armory in Minnesota, where they have the majority of their fucking little events. I don't know, but pretty crazy that we're within a couple of weeks of probably the demise, and they're gonna go out. I mean, they're gonna go out with a bang, I suppose. With well, I'll say with a bang, more like a whimper, but with Tank Davis's pay-per-view in March, we were gonna
everyone's
have.
just
uh,
everyone's just emailing Al and sending letters to his house now. I don't know, it's some like house address he wants us to send the contract to.
Yeah, it says here apartment two. He lives in an apartment now. What's going on?
Apartment too. What a dick.
It's like he lives in a duplex. Is this the B side? It's like, all right, like please deliver in the back door. Oh, okay, there's a back door. There's an entrance to the main bedroom. He's renting a room off of this guy's house. Um, so yeah, we're kind of in that right now in that position. It's kind of crazy that we may be very close to the end of PBC. So I feel bad for Fundora. He had a title defense coming up, and there goes that. Hopefully, the entire card doesn't get scrapped, and they still do it. I believe it's going to be in March, and I think that's the same month. Yeah, that they're going to do uh, Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. But yeah, chances are no more of that. So
Now, Miguel,
yes,
the Fundura fight, is that on its own or is that on the undercard?
that's supposed to be the main event. That's supposed to be on its own. That's supposed to be carrying the card.
As a pay-per-view?
Oh, I don't. Oh, well, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I don't remember right offhand, but
It's
I think
scratched, bro.
because hold on, let me see where I can find it. Because I thought, let me see here. Oh, the fight is off. Here we go.
Yeah, fuck yeah, the
Okay.
fight is off.
Well, because every Damn, I don't know, bro. Because like every source saying that the fight is off is just saying that the fight is off, but not that it was on pay-per-view to begin with. But if I scroll back far enough, I might be able to find something showing that the fight was supposed to be pay-per-view. But I think you're right. I think it was going to be pay-per-view because I mean, I don't think Amazon Prime is going to do the free fucking cards or have. I mean, they've done like one, but I don't think they're going to do any more than that. I'm almost certain that was going to be pay-per-view. I think you're right.
Yeah, so it's done. Fundora's out. There's no way they move forward with this pay per view. Or Fundora, I can guarantee you're gonna call Al Heyman on Monday and you're gonna get a doot doot doot. The number you have called has been disconnected.
It's like, please
the
check the
fuck,
number and dial
the
again.
fuck out of here! Fucking David Benavidez and Tank Davis can only do like 60,000 PBC buys, bro. Fundora, I can guarantee you're not doing half of that.
Yeah.
Like, don't show up. This is all a lie. It's all, bro. That is some bullshit. Fundora on pay per view against Spencer. Come on, Spence. Who was that kid who was gonna fight?
Yeah,
Like
no, yeah, Joey Spencer and this dude,
Joey
Joey Spencer,
Spencer.
I remember I went to a fight, a PBC card. He was on the up and up. He was a 154 pounder, or he still is, I think. And then he fought one of the Ramos brothers. I don't know, it was Abel Ramos, or I get them mixed up. I forget who's who, or Jesus Ramos, one of the two. I forget which one. And he loses. It was a fucking tough fight, but he loses, and
Yeah, he
he
got
got
a
smoked pretty bad.
swollen. Did he get swelled up pretty bad on the
Oh
eyes?
shit, I don't remember. He might have been.
I
I don't
think
remember,
so.
but
Yeah, I think he got
um.
beat up pretty bad in that fight.
Yeah, he did get beat up pretty bad, and that was his only defeat. He's fought since then, but I think he made the jump to Matchroom. I think so. He's been with Matchroom ever since, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, there was a rumor that even he was going to step in. But yeah, I mean, there's if even if he were to step in, there's no fucking way that shit stays on pay-per-view. No way.
Fuck no, Miguel. They've had some huge names on pay per view that have straight bombed. Like the
Yeah,
Amazon Prime thing did not work. You know what I mean? And really, it's the PBC that doesn't work. Obviously, what did he say? 12 platforms have now
yeah,
dropped him.
yeah, exactly. Wow.
Hustler. He was a great hustler, but not a boxing promoter at all. His PBC run will confirm that. And to be honest with you, I kind of always used to bring it up back in the day. His biggest fighters were Vernon Forrest and Paul Williams. That's what Al Heyman, before Floyd Mayweather blew up and like gave him that huge platform.
Mhm.
His claim to fame was Vernon Forrest and Paul Williams. For a lot of guys would be like, oh yeah, he's managing Vernon Forrest. Well, back in the day, Vernon Forrest was the guy that couldn't get a fucking fight.
Mm.
So why are you proclaiming like he's some big guru when Vernon Forrest? Do you know Vernon Forrest was top 10 like for years in the welterweight division and never fought Whitaker, Trinidad, or Obakar? And he's there the whole time due to the ring ratings as top 10. And it's De La Hoya and Mosley. No, it's Mosley who comes in and finally fights him. And we know that Mosley was like a B-side guy. Mosley wasn't an A-side, you know what I mean? He wasn't
Mm.
Oscar. He
Mm.
wasn't Trinidad, you know? But and then if you look at Paul Williams never got the big fight that he was supposed to get. You know? It was really Floyd's fucking just hoop, telling everyone that the guy was something that he wasn't. He was not Bob Arum, he wasn't Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah, 100%. He's not. I mean, to this day, he's not.
No.
I think hustler is probably the best description we can use for him because we're gonna see we're gonna see where he slithers off to now, and once PBC drops him. But for all the PBC guys that are watching, time for you to jump ship now, quick too, because it's a sinking ship and it's sinking pretty quickly. So there are a couple of things here. I think kind of running a little bit short on time, but let's go ahead and knock some of these out here real quick. First off, Gervonta Tank Davis going off on Turkey Al Sheik, talking mad crap about him, saying that all these guys that are working with him are just dick eaters, stuff like that, right? Certainly sealing the deal that he'll probably never work with guys like Turkey, unless, of course, there's, as we talked about earlier, as soon as the PBC ship sinks, maybe he'll be singing a different tune, and maybe he'll be more willing to eat some dick, I guess, of Turkey to go over there and maybe work with him then when he's starved a little bit. But it looks like he's okay. I mean, he said it himself that he's probably going to retire within a couple of years, so he's willing to walk away from the sport. If PBC sinks, chances are maybe he will book it, and we won't see him work with Turkey Al Sheikh. But what do you make of his remarks of talking about people who work with Turkey?
I would be real nervous the day he does have to go over there with his tail between his legs to beg for a check.
You think he will though?
Um,
You don't think he'll just ride off into the sunset? You think he will eventually?
Not with the if the news of cause look last week for him, but with the news of Rick Glazer saying they're not going to be operating on their platform in May, you could take
Mhm.
those three fucking opponents, throw them out the window now. So
Mhm.
with the tattoos that kid has all over his body, yeah, he ain't getting a job at IBM or Apple here anytime soon. So yeah, I think he will be headed back to boxing at some point when he runs out of money, right?
Mhm.
And I want to say I don't know if His Excellency has a lion as a pet, but most of those guys do. I see that as an Instagram trend, right? They're always got cheetahs and lions and shit fucking
Mhm.
attacking their friends. I see them allowing the lion to play with Gervonta for a little bit when he does go over there to sign that contract. They're not gonna they're gonna be nice, but he might have to wrestle a lion to get that money.
Mhm.
Definitely, bro. Because he talks too much shit. We know these guys don't put up with stuff like that. It's just, bro, he like totally made an enemy for no reason.
Mhm.
Right? He bit the hand that is eventually probably gonna feed his kids. Right?
Mhm.
Stupid. Dick eater? That's what you want to call these guys? All right, we'll see how that goes for you over there.
What's the over under that he'll be working with them or he'll be going to them with his tail tucked in before the end of 2025?
But before the end of 2025,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Shit.
Because Miguel, I think he spends too much money, right?
Mhm.
Gervonta Davis doesn't seem like an investor to me. Not when in one of his fights it was said that in the $600,000 payday that he had, that earlier that day he spent $500,000 on a necklace. He was paid 600,000, and earlier that day had bought a $500,000 necklace. What? This is why I don't want to say they're broke.
On
Like it put
credit.
them on. Yeah, yeah. I hope. Yeah, if I can make payments. All right, cool. We'll take 20 grand a month for. It's just stupid. It's dumb. No, I think he's gonna be broke. Yes, I think he's gonna be back. Boxing's all he knows. It's all he has. It's really hard to go do a job when you can make $1 million in what is it, 48 minutes, something like that in
Mhm.
the whole fight.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I think he's definitely at some point gonna have to reach out to Turkey Ali Sheik. I just don't know what type of conversation that's gonna be now. Like seriously, the whole world's against him when he steps off that plane. The way that he's talked about this man, the way he's try to embarrass him in the public or on social media, online, the internet. Probably not going to work good for him when he goes over there to see him. So stupid, 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 stupid.
Yeah. Definitely looking forward to
He
seeing his change of tune real soon now.
without the smartest decision he ever did was go sleep on the boxing um, um, doorstep when he went to Calvin's gym. It's about the only smart thing that Gervonta's done in his early career. But I mean, we've seen the guy crash into pregnant women and leave them in the car. We've seen him hit women, right? Get arrested for domestic.
Hmm.
We've seen him get a plea deal with the judge and then literally break the plea deal by cutting. What did he? I don't even know if he cut the ankle monitor off or he just literally walked into a hotel room and called the judge and asked if he could stay at the Hilton instead of house arrest at his house. The judge is like, no, but you can come back to jail now because you just blew that.
Yeah, it's like no, but this GPS says you're at a Hilton somewhere. No, no, you gotta.
Okay, I'll go home.
Yeah,
Jeez,
it's like no
pack up
time, mom.
everything. This guy's being a dick.
Yeah, like my mom's not letting me stay for dinner, guys. I gotta go. Fuck out of here. Like all
Fuck.
right. Time to
He
go
just
boxing.
he's never shown us that he was really intelligent in some of the decision making that he's done.
Right.
And boxing is about all he's gotten right.
Even in his own benefit, and for his own good, he still won't make these right decisions. So yeah,
Hey,
we'll
Miguel,
yeah.
he's the perfect one that they would make an example out of too. He's getting on that list, right?
Mhm, mhm,
Where there would be no one there to help him if him and his entourage got in trouble out there.
mhm.
So
A very, very good point. Yeah, like it'd be crazy if they mooch it or not. No, what's the word? They lure him. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, we'll send you a couple of Ferraris. Come over here, and then he gets in trouble over here with some of his homies, and it's like, oh yeah, now you're in our fucking neck of the woods. Now we're gonna make an example out of you.
Dick Eater, I believe you said.
Yes.
Have you
Yeah,
met my camel? They have big
yeah,
dicks.
yes.
Am I bad for saying that? I don't even know if I should have said that.
no. He's gonna be like Gervonta. What's his dick? What's his dick mean? What does it mean? Right? It's like I eat dick. What does that mean? And it's like having to fucking having to answer to him what exactly a dick is. Like I don't know. My language has no dick. I eat plenty of things. What is dick though? That'd be some crazy shit.
As he's petting a fucking lion.
Yeah, fuck yeah, like on the dam, and like pulling them back on the leash. It's like hang on, my pet lion over here is trying to get a little antsy.
He don't eat dick. He eats humans, but he don't eat dick. I don't know why.
I do not understand. I do not understand.
We just played too. I hope I don't get in trouble for the camel thing.
Who gives a shit? It's funny. All right. Well, we're gonna get past these two fight announcements slash rumors here real quick before we end the fucking show. First off, we have Teofimo Lopez versus Richardson Hitchens. That is. It appears that's what's rumored. Whether or not the fights are going to happen or not, but it's looking like we might get a unification bout in early this year, early 2025. Um, I want to say, like he had a much bigger fight, or Teofimo with Matias, that was supposedly was going to be on pay-per-view, according to Bob Arum. This definitely is not a pay-per-view fight, so he kind of got fucked out of there. But he couldn't come to some sort of agreement with Matias. He refused that last offer, and now we have.
Did you see what he refused?
No, I didn't see. What was it?
Bro, they're saying it was 2.8 million. 2.8 million for Matias, who is not even on the radar of anything.
Plus,
he literally, if he's supposed to be as good as his ranking says he is, that's almost $3 million for a sparring match. Just Lopez doesn't seem like he makes the right decisions for himself. The way
he's in a worse spot now if he's going to fight somebody like Hitchens. It's a
unification
bout, which is great, but it's not a damn as much of a money fight as it would have been if he fought Matias.
We seen His Excellency pay Crawford $2.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
How is he going to expect he's going to make more than Crawford in this company? Remember what he said about Top Rank was, I'm their last star. Hey, Dick, 2.8 million kind of proved that. You got paid more than what Crawford made fighting with the guy that you just ran to.
Mm-hmm.
Really weird situation with Lopez. I said last week, I hope he's all right, because you hear the stories about the dad parties a lot. Lopez kind of talks weird now, racist things coming out of his mouth. His nationality now has changed a few times. I don't know. He's like adding cultures into his onto his resume to see if any of them will catch fire. It's just really weird. Desperate, I guess, is another word we can use to describe him, as we done earlier tonight for another guy. Who was it that we used desperate for?
For Crawford and Canelo. Going
Crawford.
For
there you
Canelo,
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Speaking of one, the one that got 2.5 million for going with fucking
Poor guys. Yeah. So it's weird that it seemed like a lot of money, and then he turns down the Devin Haney fight, when I thought that's what he was striving for, was the biggest fights out there. That seems like that's the fight that's going to get you back into the big picture. Just don't know where Lopez is right now mentally. because I know he's a guy that has went through it himself, and it just seems like he's making real odd decisions right now. He's got no real guy guiding him. I don't even see his dad really that much. Don't know how great his dad is at just making these decisions his damn self, but skipping on 2.8 million guaranteed money for a guy that's not on the radar seems like a dumb move to me. Really does.
Yeah. And I guess the only real smart move that he did, Teofimo I'm talking about, is going with the Reynosos. But that's kind of about it. I mean, there's still much more to be done here. I mean, we are looking forward to seeing what improvements he's done or he's going to bring to the ring with his first training camp with the Reynosos. But I don't
Now,
know, maybe,
Miguel,
yeah.
I want to ask you: do the Reynosos does Eddie know English? And I'm being real right now.
I don't know. I don't remember ever hearing him speak English. I have to assume he does just because Canelo does. And I mean, and I'm not saying that he has to because Canelo, but if he's around Canelo all the time and Canelo does speak pretty damn good English, I have to assume if he paid, I'm talking about Canelo paid for somebody, an instructor to teach him how to speak English, I would have to assume he might have done that the same with for Eddie. So I have to assume so, but I've never actually heard him speak English. No.
Because I know Valdez knows Spanish. We know Ruiz didn't, and Garcia didn't, and both of them didn't make it in that gym. So Lopez, I don't think he knows Spanish. We know that for a fact. He doesn't know Spanish. He actually fumbled that bad when he did try to speak it one time. Um, so we don't know what that's going to do for him until we see
Mm,
him fight under Reynoso and see how he looks and all that. We don't even know if that was the right idea. It's a good step, right?
mm,
But there is a language barrier that seems to have crippled two American fighters that already tried his gym, right? And because they didn't know Spanish, it kind of didn't work out. So
mm.
I mean, I know for a fact that was a rumor about the Garcia. Garcia just never felt like he was a part of the gym because they're all laughing. You don't know what the fuck anyone's saying.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm right. I know exactly what that feels like. You know what I mean? So I,
Mm.
I know what being, you just don't know what anyone's saying. My grandparents used to do that to us. Shit. They'd start talking Spanish. As soon as they didn't want the kids to know what the hell they were saying about our parents,
Mm.
should go straight to Spanish. You'd hear your mom's name, you're like, said something about my mom.
You're like, what the hell? What
Yeah,
you say
that's my
again?
dad. Said something about my dad. I don't know what they're talking about. They said something.
So one of the other fight rumors, it looks like we're going to get a unification fight in the welterweight division. IBF welterweight champ Jaron Ennis is going to be taking on Imantas Stanionis, which I want to say the WBA champion at welterweight. Stanionis has been a couple of years, or no, I think he fought in May of 2024, so it's been about a year since he's been out of the game. I don't think. Let me see here. Oh, they said Atlantic City in April. That's what it's looking like. So those are the two fights that seem to be happening, two unification fights, Hitchens and Teofimo at 140, and then at 147 we have Stanionis and Ennis. Stanionis, I want to say, is still a PBC guy. Ennis not anymore. Ennis is with Matchroom now, so I don't know how that was going to work out, but regardless, we're going to have a unification fight at 147, which I'm kind of looking forward to because there was a lot of talk of Ennis going up to 154 because he is at 147 right now. But he talked about possibly unifying the division. Eddie Hearn talked about wanting Boots to unify the 147-pound division as well. And it looks like this is the direction they're going because this is the first one here. Next, I think would be who the fuck else?
Barrios.
Barrios, right? Exactly, Barrios. Um, and I'm trying to think of who else has got. Oh, that Brian Norman dude, who's a WBO champion. So, so yeah, it looks like those are the two rumored fights we're looking at: Lopez and Hitchens and Ennis and Stanionis. Looking forward to that one, Andrew. Yeah, yes, no.
It's the weakest welterweight division we've had in 40 years. Since the Four Kings, really, and not the Four Kings, it really was only three of them that were there. But you had the Sugar Ray Leonard, we'll just call it the Leonard era. Then you have the Whitaker, Trinidad, De La Hoya era. It's a great era of boxing. Obacar or Ike Cortez, excuse me,
Hmm.
era. And then we had the Floyd Mayweather, Cotto, Margarito, Paul Williams era. These still a great era of boxing. This era is fucking trash. Spence, Ugas, Jeff
Ugas,
Horn.
Thurman,
Jeff
Porter.
Horn was a champ.
Yeah, I mean
It-
it's cyclical. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it sucks, and right now it's kind of at the point that it sucks.
it's
It may get up again, and at some point it usually does.
well, look,
Oftentimes,
we've got Haney,
exactly,
Garcia, yeah,
exactly.
and them all moving in. So let's hope that they bring it back. Lopez, we'll see what he looks like at 147. But we got some guys coming in. But yeah, what a trash division. I haven't seen the welterweights this bad. I mean, those Ennis, Stanis, Norman, and Barrios are fucking what? Like, how do you compare these guys to the names we just
Oh,
said,
well,
bro?
but to some degree they're kind of sitting ducks because once the other guys move up,
Yeah,
the key is that they end up fighting each other. That we get Teofimo and Ryan or Devin and Teofimo. We get those fights even if at 147. The point is that we want them to fight one another. That's what makes it great. They didn't fight each other at 135. They fucking didn't fight each other at 140. Well, at least Ryan and Devin did, but they already left Gervonta behind. As long as we can get them fighting one another, even at 147, I'll take it. I'm down on 147. And if they can take belts off of some of these guys like Stanionis and Brian Norman Jr., etc., if they get the belts off of them and, Boots is there, Boots is, man, he's primed to make some serious fucking money if he can just hold on to his belt and maybe even unify here. But, yeah, it's,
if I
it's
was
definitely,
Boots, if I was Boots, I would try fast to get the unification with Barrios after. Try to get as many belts as I can. Well, Haney and them are doing their little thing with non-titles.
mhm.
Try to get that belt at least. I don't know the Brian Norman. I think Barrios is a bigger name than Norman. So
Yeah.
I would try to beat Stannis and then Stanios. How do you say it?
Stanionis. Ooh, Stanionis.
Stanionis,
Yeah.
and then try to get Barrios into a fight. So then at least Ennis is the guy, right? He'll have 3 of the titles.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and then at least they can have that kind of leverage on him.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
now, he's in a perfect position to at least get 3 titles. If he can win the fight he's got right now, and then while Garcia and Haney prepare for their rematch, fucking try to go out there and get Barrios. Because I haven't heard shit about Barrios. This is another one's kind of sitting on the sideline right now, probably
Yeah.
getting the doot doot doot. The number that you have called has been dis.
Right. Well, I mean, he did, I'm sure he got a nice little payday because he fought on the undercard of Tyson and Jake Paul on Netflix. So maybe he got a little bit
Oh,
nice
there it
little payday
is.
there.
That was a lot.
That
Okay,
was, yeah. And I
okay.
mean, and I think the fight when he fought Ramos, I think it was a
It was a
fucking
great
draw.
fight.
It was a
Yeah,
great
it
fight,
was a
but it was a
great
draw,
fight.
and it wasn't. I don't know if we're gonna have a
That
rematch of
robbed
that.
me, eh? I had Ramos in that shit, man.
Once again,
Fuckers.
motherfucker.
Oh, and
Um,
actually, it didn't. It was a draw. Remember?
yeah,
So
yeah, it was a draw. Yeah,
yeah, the money would have just come back. Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, it
Uh,
was Fury. I put too much trust into Fury, man.
and Prograde. We put some money on Prograde too. Remember that didn't
Yeah.
work out. Prograde, but all right.
Oh
Well,
yeah, Catterall.
yeah,
Okay,
Prograde
that's
got
another name. He hasn't been. Yeah, where the hell's Catterall doing? Huh?
yeah, yeah. Good question. I mean, got a good win off of a Prograde there. Let's see where. I don't know. Knowing knowing what's his name, um, Eddie Hearn. He's like looking for Liam Perot or something. Like, yeah, we'll get for sure. Let's go
Back
ahead
in
and get.
Australia.
Yeah, why not? Let's toss that motherfucker in there. All right. Well, that pretty much goes through all of the topics that I want to talk about. I know it was a fuck ton of them. I went a little over our usual 2 hour here, but Andrew, anything else you would like to toss in before we call it a night?
Nope. That's it for me, guys.
All right, fantastic. Well, so far I try to get you guys as much media stuff as I can. Make sure to check out our YouTube page. I'm going to try to get you more. We are coming up on 2 fights here in Vegas with Diego Pacheco and Steven Nelson coming at the next Saturday or coming up 25th, and then the one after that. the major PBC pay-per-view February 1st with David Morrell and David Benavides. We're going to talk about plenty of that because I'm going to go out and get the odds from the casinos as I usually do, and we can definitely go into those in great details in the coming weeks. All right. Thank you so much for listening to us once more. Make sure to hit the subscribe / like, all those good stuff, as the more experienced YouTubers will say. You enjoyed the rest of your weekend. Have a great work week, and we'll see you guys next weekend. Peace.